Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. But you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. side to side. Without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Peekaboo, I see you, peekaboo, I see you. Looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time from side to side.
It is the Path2Pro Combine, day number 2, where we have some of the best up-and-coming talent in NA duking it out for unique opportunities to maximize their potential as the future of North American League of Legends. Thank you so much to Cito.gg for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful combine and also organizing it. Blue Water League on the production, specifically Chris Zunga and Auntie as well for this. I am Ferris. I'm here to show the world. I'm with Shibby on the broadcast desk today. And Shibby, my man, what is in store for us with this opening 3 block?
I mean, you just gotta look down below the plethora of talent that we have here. If you guys tuned in yesterday, some of these guys you might remember, other guys maybe they're coming in for the first time here. But I mean, this combine is looking to do a lot of unique and ambitious things, right? We broke it down yesterday. A select few of these players will be going to LA to scrim internally, and then 5 of these players from this total combine will be going to Korea for a boot camp to further their skills and to kind of, explore Korea vacation a little bit. Why not get some Korean fried chicken and all that fun stuff there? But that's way into the future. Right now, we've got a block of games here. We've got NACL champions, and we've got individuals that are competing in the ACL, the Aegis Champions League, right now. So we've got a plethora of different varying of skills of talent, right? Zamudo, if you guys obviously know, NACL winner with Dragon Still. We've also got Scary Jerry on that side, Zyko, Sammykin, the hot new boy wonder in the mid lane, right? Like, I mean, there's just so much talent here. Quacker, Will, Kryra, a guy that popped off yesterday, is looking to kind of further that momentum. So, I mean, there's just so much talent here, and I'm very excited to see these teams, face against each other in an environment where they typically wouldn't team up.
Exactly. And yeah, that's it right there. The sheer amount of talent in these games is what is most exciting about these combines. But there's also another exciting thing that you and I need to talk about here, Shibby. And the difference between the 3 blocks that we had yesterday and today is there are some special stipulations that are going to be presented in game 2 and game 3 of these 3 blocks. And the first one in game 2 will be that coaches will be in the ears of the players. They will be in comms. They will be giving them instructions, things like that. And then for the third game, and this is the crazy part, And I am very excited to see how this plays out. But it's going to be no vision, no wards allowed to be placed, just wards, trinkets, control wards from any of these players. And these challenges are meant to see how these players can adapt to different situations when they are faced with those types of things. So Shibi, I'm most looking forward to those sort of things that are happening inside of these games.
Yeah, game 3 specifically will be super interesting, right? No vision at all. No wards, nothing like that. You can use champion passive, so stuff like Fiddlesticks to keep in mind. He can place his little crow down. You've also got stuff like Maokai saplings, essentially anything that isn't a control ward or like a regular green ward for some of the old school guys. So, not having vision, understanding how you can take on fights, where to take on fights as we do get into the draft here. Game 1 is normal though. It's player led. So these players are going to be, picking stuff that they want to play. They're going to be seeing where they want to go. But game 2 and 3, I think game 2 is going to be really fun for the coaches, being in the ear, being able to have one of those macro genius guys on your side of the team to pilot and navigate your early gold leads here. But already we can see on T1 side, they're going to ban out the Zoe. They're going to take Samikin's champion away. I kind of want to see him play it. I kind of want to see him flex on it, but he's got tons of other champions, right? Lux, Hui, all these kind of champions that he's kind of like a specialist on, as we see on the other side. Team 2 will be banning away the Yone. So pretty standard bans here. I think removing Quacker's Darius as well, just to get him off of something that he's comfortable with. Very smart here. So at least these players know what's up. They know what's strong. They know who's a one trick. They know who's been playing a lot, who's a specialist on some sort of things. So we're going to see some champion diversity here.
And that's the thing when these teams, you don't really know if they have a specific play style because it's just a bunch of players that have been grouped up together. So you just target what the players are good at, and that's typically the way to go. But look at these bans here from T2 side. I know they named themselves Team Zyko after their support. I don't know what the actual team name was for T1. We'll call them T1 for now. But Team Zyko taking away the Yone, the Scar, and the Aurora. These 3 picks have a 100% pick ban rate. And actually for Yone and Aurora, it's 100% ban rate. All 7 games thus far in the Combine, these champions have been taken away. So no one wants to go up against these picks.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely disgusting champions in their own right. I mean, Aurora with the combination of like Nocturne, just also slotting her in generally. She's a fundamentally really good champion. Being able to create that arena so that, individuals can just start getting, rifled down. Very, very difficult, especially if you're an AD carry player. The Ashe being taken, one of those champions, like lane neutral, like just kind of like does what she does, doesn't really lose, doesn't really win, just kind of is utility and allows for pick potential very, very quickly. I do like this Udyr pick because it can take it away from individuals like Quacker, but also Zamudo, a very good Udyr in his own right, a guy that is willing to play these kind of champions, that plays Cho'Gath. I mean, he's busted out stuff like Quinn. Like, he's got a very deep champion pool, so that can be flexed between Zamudo and Kryra here. But Ashe Leona, heavy CC lane, one cleanse is not going to do it. I feel bad for Sushi here on the Ezreal. She might have to buy QSS.
Yeah, it could potentially be something that he has to look for. But if you are going to play into something like an Ashe Leona, all the CC available to them, the one champion you would want to play in the marksman role is something like an Ezreal. Arcane Shift gets you a lot of safety. And the Braum lock-in here that's going to go into the hands of Zyko is a champion that can provide a lot of peel into these melee champions that pretty much just go at you in a straight line, like Leona and Udyr as well, can block the enchanted crystal arrow if that's coming down from downtown. So there's some counterplay options here for Team Zyko as we roll into the second round of bans with Graves and Ivern. The jungle targeting here from Team Zyko, and then the mid lane picks targeting towards Samikin. Likes those control mages you talked about it. The Zoe taken off the board. Talia was a pick that like to play in the NACL as well, even something like the Hui. So we'll see what Samikin goes for. They're saving last pick for him.
Yeah, they are saving last pick for him, and I like the Lee Sin as well into that immobile AD carry. Really good peel, like you mentioned, and as well, you can kind of use that ultimate in a multitude of different ways. Ahri being locked in, though. We'll see what they end up pairing it with in the jungle. The Ivern Graves taken away. You could see Ahri Vi. It's a very standard lock-in. I have a very strong feeling this Udyr is going to go in the top side, hence why Team Zyko has been betting it out. But I do like this, a reset champion. I love pairing Viego up with reset champions. In the mid lane, it'll typically be Ahri. In the top lane, it'll be Aatrox. And usually in the bot lane, you'll see like Viego Jinx, right? So you want those reset champions to go in. Samikin's going to default to his Hui. I think he actually really likes this matchup, Hui into Ahri. He's navigated it a multitude of times in the NACL. So we'll see how he ends up playing out this 2v2 with the Lee Sin. But Ahri Viego is a very, very deadly 2v2 combo. And just a very deadly skirmish combo, right? When you start getting into that level 6, once these resets start to come in, it can be really hard to kind of track both of these champions in some of these fights. I really like Team 1's composition, right? Nice beefy front line, a utility AD carry that can get the party started from a distance, and then any time that Enchanted Crystal arrow hits, Viego and Ahri are jumping on that target, and once that first kill happens, the reset city begins to go. They've got the Braum, they've got the Wei, they've got a good amount of peel here, but I very struggle to kind of find how this Jarvan actually slots in, and it's actually Elise in top. I completely blanked out. Quacker's going to pilot that in the top side against the Udyr.
So we talk about wacky picks in the top lane. I mean, this is something that League of Legends isn't new to. Lee Sin top has been a thing in previous metas before. Not quite here on 1420, but this is going to be something that's going to be very interesting. And Quacker obviously has some type of tech. Maybe it's a good matchup into the Udyr. I'm not very familiar with how this actually plays out, but this is definitely going to be the most interesting part about the draft as we are loaded into the game, and we'll keep our eyes up there. And again, the jungle, mid-jungle duos like you were talking about, it's very important for this sort of lead to be earned from the Viego and the Ahri. This is a 2v2 that has lots of power, and so up against the Hui and the J4, we'll see how these players actually end up clashing here inside of the game as we're ready to get things underway here. I'm excited. It's the first game of day number 2. I hope you all are ready for some good games.
I get what Quacker's doing, right? Energy-based top laner. There's one releasing very soon. He's just trying to get the practice in right now for when Mbessa comes out here. But yeah, really, really weird Lee Sin pick. We'll see how it navigates into this top side. Udyr, one of those guys that kind of just stalemates the lane, right? Similar to Gragas. He's a big Stonewall kind of tank champion. You can't really trade into him because he has his empowered W, and if you get really close into melee range, you can pop his R, and it's really difficult to move this guy outside of top lane. This Jarvan, though, will be interesting to see how he slots in, who he's able to trap. Most likely will be either the Udyr or the Ashe. You can't really look to ult the Viego or the Ahri unless you just want to force ult for ult trade. But I'm looking at Will to get a lot of stuff done early. You have the Lee Sin in the top side. You've got, Hui in the mid lane. There are a couple lanes you can gank that can really put the pressure on his Quacker.
This is getting very close here. Quacker has to flash away. Zamudo stands his ground here in the top side. I was going to say, you're talking about how stable this Udyr can be, and on the opposite side, Quacker on the Lee Sin. This is an early champion, a champion who likes to thrive in the early game, and the same thing in the top lane as well. You want to beat down your opponent because you don't have great scaling. The playmaking potential of a Lee Sin always there, but a great start for T1 to start the match here. The flash burned off of the Team Zyko top laner, and that doesn't bode well for Quacker on this Lee Sin. So Zamudo feeling themselves here in the opening match of the day. That's got to feel good for them.
And Quacker back, Teta TP, he came in with the refillable potion. That was about it. Now Zamudo's really trying to get this wave shoved in his bot lane.
We're going to see some action here in the bot side. Zyko has the Ignite, taking the last auto attack from Scary Jerry. Will not go through. The flash is good to keep himself safe, but the Ashe and the Leona duo here doing very well for themselves. I also want to talk about that trade that Zamudo took onto Quacker there. Now Quacker with no TP. Sitting with this HP inside of the lane is going to feel horrible because you're just going to see the TP back from Zamudo. Should have full control of this lane unless the crash can come through in time. But that's also going to be the flash burned off of Zyko in the bot side. And it is Kryra that is here, going under the alias of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. And Peter Parker has found himself a man in some armor. Flag and drag away. Viego takes control.
Yeah, he's gonna have control with that. With those flashes being burned on that bottom side, bottom crab is gonna be his. Viego gets full control of that bot side river. But like you mentioned, Quacker came back, took a really nasty trade with Zamudo. Mind you, Zamudo has a nice health lead, right? He's got already his effective HP, but he's got 2 charges in the refillable plus a cookie to his name, so he can trade really aggressively with Quacker, and there's not much you can do about it.
Quacker once again, that's the wrong way, dude. You can't go that way. You're going to fall in this 1 versus 1. Zamudo picks up the solo kill, asserts dominance more so this time than we saw in the previous fight, but that is huge here for the T1 top laner.
And Zamudo just really using his resources to his advantage. His mixture is going to show up into this mid lane. They don't know it's a 3v2 though.
Zenith Blade onto Samikin, who uses a flash himself, but here is Kryra trying to finish off this kill. It is Zyko doing his very best to keep his mid laner safe. It's going to be successful. And now Will on the counterpunch. The flash forward to proc the concussive blows was so smart here from the Team Zyko jungler, and now Mixture is next. No flash available. This Leona is certainly going to fall. Samikin is dancing around him, kiting away. 2 kills for Will, and that is a great bounce back.
Beautiful stall out. Really good from both Samikin and Zyko to just bait Team 1 into that mid-fight to keep them interested. Will coming in. Really well played from him, right? Like you said, the flash to confirm the stun and then using the flag and drag combo to get the full CC combo off there. Very well played from Team 2 there. Both of those kills going into Will's favor should give him a little bit more power, a little bit more dueling potential onto Viego and kind of tip these 2v2s into their favor, although Quacker still having a rough time navigating this top side. Guys on a glowing moat and a long sword. Feels bad.
It does feel bad. Look at Zamudo now. Going to be chasing him down with the stun here. Going to get this damage off and just chase him right out of lane. And look at the wave here for Quacker. This might just be a solo kill. Hello, what's going on? This was supposedly the counter pick here. But Zamudo is not going to be able to finish off the kill. But nonetheless, I mean, Shibby, look at this lane. This is horrible here for the top side of T2.
Yeah, I mean, Quacker's just going to have to take the long walk of shame back to top side. Zamudo easily can get this wave pushed in. He's going to back his... Uh-oh, Samikin.
Samikin, no flash from the previous play. Remember, can they get the damage to finish this one off? Spiraling Despair
Oh,
right before
no!
he drops. This is the misplay of the century, and Samikin might just be the best player right now because that was quite the outplay. Not enough damage. Oh my goodness, disaster strikes for T1.
When you come for the king, you best go for the head 2 times in a row. Team 1, go for Samikin, and this time he comes out with the kill on top here. That pressure will allow them to get grubs, but Will's going to take the dragon. He's going to start stacking that early, and realistically, this is a consolation prize. Spider-Man or Kryra here is just going to be able to take this off the back of his mid laner's death. I mean, that's rough. You know, Samikin's kicking his feet right now.
And Samikin is very happy about that. The flash burn there from both Kryra and Udyr as well. I mean, I believe it was the earlier play that Udyr actually used the flash, but still so good there. That alleviates the pressure off of Hwei because there's so much potential for kills for this 2v2 mid jungle for the side of T1. Now that they don't have those spells, it makes that much harder. As we see Dragon's Rage from Quacker kicking away Zamudo. He's not having fun here, constantly getting bullied around. And it's full control here as we see a long-range Zenith Blade come through. This is going to be an extended trade here in the bot side. And for the moment, it's constant pressure from Scary Jerry and Mixture.
I like that from Sushi, though, right? When the Zenith Blade lands eeing behind your Braum, and then once that shield comes up, you can just hammer autos away onto Leona's Quacker. We're back here again.
Oh
Deja vu. Every time we pan up here, Ferris, the guy is getting run down by Zamudo. Can we pan up when he's having a better time?
I don't know if that better time is coming right now. His jungler's up here, but it's looking about as rough as it possibly gets. Trying to get anything he can. It's just comedy at this point. He tries to get some CS, and Zamudo says, no way, man. I'm chasing you all the way to your tower and making your life as miserable as it possibly can. In this topside lead, well, we got a 13 CS lead for the Udyr. And we said, like, look at this, man. We're just going to get... It's like deja vu. Now it's the solo kill. This is just utter domination. Zamudo, the winning top laner of NACL Summer, showing why they were at that level in Tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough, right? Rough top lane for a Quacker here. Let's see if he can make some plays later on into the mid game, right? This Lee Sin, even if he's 0-10, can still have some playmaking potential, still has that kick available, can kick somebody like Scary Jerry, somebody like Kryra into the team to get those kills started here. As long as Team 2 stabilizes or Team Zyko stabilizes here, I'm sure Samikin, Will, and Sushi can get the job done as long as Quacker doesn't give too much gold over to Zamudo, because he will get to that point where he's nigh unkillable if a ton of gold goes into this tank's favor.
It will, and then it'll fall a lot on the side of Samikin to be able to bring down that Udyr. The plated steel cap's already itemized. There's virtually no hope of Quacker in the 1v1 dealing any damage to the Udyr. It's very doomed. So I very much like your point to the fact that Lee Sin, a great playmaking champion, has to be able to utilize that playmaking potential to be useful, at least at this stage of the game in the gold state that they're at. And now we see neutral objectives off of the map. It's going to be a tense next couple of minutes here. The bot lane's been pretty stable. I mean, there's been some trading. Scary Jerry, Mixture, they've been able to burn the flash off of Zyko here, but I assume it's really just Sushi, cruise control, trying to get to those 2 items there, and then around those neutral objectives, be that poke threat there for this T2 team.
Yeah, it like does land.
Hold on a second. This actually might just be Zyko. One shot before the Unbreakable Shield can even come up. That's a huge pick, and the kill goes to Kryra's Viego.
beautiful CC chain coming out from Team 1 there, right? Zenith Blade into the Ash stun, into now the Viego stun as well. Like, just that guy wasn't allowed to move. Zyko wasn't able to flash, wasn't able to jump over to Ezreal there. So, nice kill. I was going to highlight for Team 1 how kind of a little bit disappointing it has been for Kryra and, Audur here to kind of get that those kills started, because with the Ahri, with the Viego, you want to try to get those early leads. You want to try to skirmish as much as possible so you can kind of transition those into objectives. Here is Will
has found Otter. The charm will land, and Spirit Rush now used as Zyko can't quite chase. They do get the ultimate off of the Ahri here. And right before this next trio of grubs are spawning, you see the yellow hourglass. You know that they're coming up here soon. You know that this is what these teams are going to prioritize. And a big cooldown drops right before. So T2 are feeling happy about that. Didn't have to use much of their own there in that exchange, as now TP's coming through. Samikin on that first item. And I expect to see a pretty chaotic fight upcoming here around these next set of grubs.
Gonna be a 5v4 though for Team 1 here, right? They've got Udyr situated in this top side. Cracker's been sent to the bot side for Team Zyko. Team Zyko need to get a kill to make this at least somewhat even.
And that's going to be the first kill onto Scary Jerry immediately here, walking unsuspectingly into the brush. Zygo with the Unbreakable Shield is good. And a Cataclysm traps too here. Quacker committing the teleport, but here on the flank is Zamudo. But in a 1 versus 3 right now, I don't really like your odds there. You're very powerful, but not this powerful. The True Shot Barrage will go wide. Zamudo able to walk their way out of this exchange, but still it's +1 for T2.
Yeah, +1 for Team 2 here. Team Zyko coming in nice. Early kill onto the Ash there. Scary Jerry blows both his sums and still goes down. Really, really well played from them to secure those second set of grubs, not give that split pushing power over to Zamudo, especially on a champion like Udyr who can just control the side lane forever. I really like that. Dragon is coming up in 3 seconds though, so we should see Team 1 deploy back onto the map a little bit faster here. They should be able to clear some vision, get some wards down. Zamudo crucially still has his TP up. Quacker has to be positioned into this bot side if they want to contest this dragon. If not, Quacker has to be ready with the Dragon's Rage when he sees Zamudo TPing. So Team 1 have the resources available to contest this second drag, and I'm sure Team Zyko understand that.
And they also have ultimates coming up on a quicker timer than their opponents. Is Samikin, oh boy.
Bye-bye.
That is not what you want to see there. There's really nowhere for the way to go, even with the flash available. No escape possible. So this will most definitely now should be the Drake for T1 side. They have the numbers advantage. Their ultimates are coming up. Zamudo's got TP advantage, and Zamudo's just running him around the tower. Quacker saying, man, get back here. I'm trying to stop you here. I'm going to flash kick you, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot, Quacker. I'm sorry, man. You're really trying your best out here, but you're just too far behind, and this Udyr is unleashed.
Yeah, Zamudo playing Ring Around the Rosie. Quacker there, burning both the Flash and the Dragon's Kick. Still unable to kill Zamudo, right? Just insane champion Udyr is, especially with a couple kills under his belt. Zamudo once again, rifling away at that tower. Quacker might.
Oh my goodness.
Was that a steal?
That is the steal. It's going to be Will to get that dragon. That's huge there for T2. I didn't think T1 was expecting this to happen, and now Will is trying to make the great escape here. Samikin's there to usher them out. What a heist, and so clean there from the jungler. Is topside. This is looking dangerous. Something's going down here. I'm gonna make the prediction as Quacker's low, but it looks like Zamudo not ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Zamudo ended up using his empowered W's to get a little bit more shielding, to get a little bit more autos onto that top lane turret. But yeah, Will, like you mentioned, the heist. I mean, this guy did play 400 Thieves next at one point in his career, so it's not surprising that he's able to, heist the dragon, like you mentioned. Very well played from Team Zyko, and Will's back here.
Zamudo could be in trouble now. The Sonic Wave was being channeled, but the Q2 did not get taken. Will is going to get the flag and drag off. Zamudo is just tanking them both, and guess who's here to get the collection of kills? That will be Kryra, who says thank you very much. Has transformed into the Lee Sin, misses the Sonic Wave there, but the Spectral Maw will connect the Heartbreaker to finish it off. But now the cavalry from T2 has arrived, but Samikin is just getting beat down here and is going to drop along with his support in Zyko. They're going to trade one back, but this play has just gone from bad to worse for T2.
Disaster for Team Zyko there, and that's off the back of Zamudo on that Udyr, surviving for so long, right? The empowered W, buying enough time for Kryra to come in, gets the kill, lands the beautiful stolen flag and drag onto both Samikin and I believe Zyko there. And then the rest of the gang from T1 come in. They clean up. It was originally, what, a 1 for 0 for 2, and then it just became a 1 for 4. So really, really bad play from Team Zyko there. And Team 1 taking full advantage. That has swung the gold 4,000 in their favor. That gives them the Rift Herald that they can use to deploy onto that mid lane when the dragon's coming up. We are on Mountain Soul for the menu here, and I'm pretty sure Team 1's going to want to deny that soul point, especially with the item advantage and gold lead they have now. Just look at the top side. 2,000 gold
That's
ahead
crazy.
for Zamudo. That's Udyr. That's just Udyr things.
Udyr things, and Zamudo showcasing it to everyone here watching this first game of our first opening 3 block. Now, you talk about the dragon stacking of T2. That's certainly going to be denied with the lead that T1 has now, as Mixture taking a whole bunch of damage, but it's a pretty tanky Leona. Going to be okay. Going to be taking that Severn Bolt as well. Maybe a couple Mystic shots, tanking the everything plus the kitchen sink. I thought Mixture was going to be okay, but I might have just caster cursed the support. That's going to be a huge pick here. There's still 2 minutes to go to the Mountain Drake, though, so shouldn't be too detrimental.
Yeah, Team Zyko will look to just get some more vision down, but Zamudo is a problem, right? Like, you can't ignore the elephant in the room with the Udyr in the top side here. Like, he is just putting on constant pressure. And even if you send 2 there, I don't actually think that's enough to handle him. Quacker may look to invest into a Tiamat, something that can clear the wave really quickly, because I feel like Zamudo is just going to be perma-pushing this top side. And when he enters these fights, who's going to be responsible for taking him down? Mid lane?
The Glacial Fisher is going to go down. It's going to miss, and Sushi's taking a lot of damage here. Going to be able to flash away from this one. As Zamudo, the second, that's that aura right there. The presence of the Udyr and immediate flashes. In T2, they don't want any more of that. So control the mid lane here. Items, it's going to be 1 item for both AD carries. Item completions, 1.5 for both mid laners. But I still think with the lead that they have, Zamudo has Unleashed Teleport available. I don't think there's any way that this upcoming Drake goes anyone else's way but T1. And the good news, though, for T2 is they had that Dragon Steel from Will, so they have some time to recollect themselves and look for maybe a cross-map play onto Zamudo if it's possible. And they're going to try it here. So let's see. Can they do it? You said this was not possible here, Shibby, and I think I might have to agree with you. Because this Udyr is very hard to take down. But guess what? Will is doing a good chunk of damage here, and Quacker's actually tanking for the moment. We might have just caster cursed him. It's going to be a little bit of the healing here, but the Cataclysm's enough. They get the Udyr. The trade will be the mid turret.
Yeah, they lose a lot here. 30 seconds till the dragon. Let's see if they actually try to get a second charge in. At minimum, they traded Zamudo for a tier 1 turret in the mid lane, control over this riverside of the dragon, and they should get this mountain dragon for themselves. You see them laying a trap right now. Zamudo didn't die for nothing, but a lot of gold. Again, going over in the favor of Will. I don't know if these kills are actually that useful in the hands of a Jarvan, or would it really be that useful in the hands of Lee Sin? I feel like it's the best that Team Zyko could have done, right? Pressure the Udyr, get what you can, give that dragon away. You can play the long game because you have those 2 dragons like you mentioned. Will stealing one away should prolong this game to at least a 33 to 34 minute Mountain Dragon for Team 1 if they manage to snag all 4.
This is a lot of damage, though, that is purchased here by this Jarvan. Eclipse in the inventory, Tunneler, Caulfield's Warhammer as well. So you can't always count out what kind of damage the Jarvan can do to a backline member like Scary Jerry or even Udder as well if he gets on there. And combine that with a Spiraling Despair, this could be huge. It could be the damage that they need to get onto this backline and just ignore Zamudo, because I expect the Udyr to be getting nothing but even more tanky as the game progresses. The tier 1, it's going to hold on in the bot side for T2 here. As Zyko, you're walking into a world of hurt once again, but thankfully you got that Unbreakable Shield. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will go wide. The Solar Flare goes down, doesn't get much. And the Spiraling Despair, the Severing Bolt has to be flashed away from. Zamudo is in the middle of everybody. This guy is maybe overheating a little bit too much. The tower will drop on the other side. It's going to be Zyko trying to do what Zamudo's doing. In the backside, the Udyr drops, and Otter is the next target. No charges left. Gonna have to use the flash. Good charm there onto Quacker to disengage. This should be the full retreat from T1, but they want to pursue here. Will wants something. They got a tower. I don't think this play can go on any further.
Yeah, a bit of a risky TP from Zamudo there, just directly into 5 members. Team 1 actually couldn't even follow up a really good Glacial Fissure coming out from Zyko to kind of split that fight into 2 different quadrants. They take what's given to them. Zamudo's in the backside. So they're going to take that. They're going to take the bottom lane tier 1. And this gold lead that Team 1 had, like the 4,000 gold that we saw, slowly but surely shrinking due to some questionable calls. There's still a good chunk ahead, right? 2,500. But still, I don't know how many more plays they can take of that before Team Zyko look to get back into it. Because right now, we do see Sushi on this Ezreal. Once he hits that 2-item mark, once he evolves that Manamune or the Muramana into the Manamune, he's going to start hitting for a lot more damage here, especially into champions like the Ahri, like the Ashe here. We have to have Zamudo kind of play a little bit closer to his team instead of diving in 1v4 into the back line.
I think that point right there, the last point that you mentioned, that's exactly why T1 hasn't had the success they've wanted in the fight. Zamudo is just dropping before Scary Jerry and Otter, even Kryra on the Viego, can get any damage off. I mean, Zyko in the previous fight was doing a lot to dissuade them while the rest of the team killed off Zamudo. So that is going to be sort of the adaptation that should come through for them in these fights. And if it does, then Zamudo can definitely, with the power that they still have in this game, be more effective on this Udyr pick. As we see them getting aggressive inside of the jungle here. They know they're still stronger, so they're going to be taking away some camps. They want to look for potentially any picks here that might lead them towards the Baron that is now live.
Yeah, and Zamudo has yet to pick up any real resistances, right? Itemization-wise, he's just got a ton of health.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have a massive amount of armor or MR here, so if he is caught up in that back line, like, enough damage put into him will just take him down. I'm sure his 3rd item that he's building here is going to, obviously drop some resistances, going to get him a little bit more tankier, but there are windows for Team 2 or Team Zyko to really punish Zamudo on this Udyr. We really look to Kryra, we really look to Otter here to kind of get the resets going while their top laner is tanking everything. Is the Crystal Arrow does come out.
Anti-Crystal Arrow plus the Solar Flare. This is all onto the Braum, but here is Zamudo on the flank. They're going to get Zyko, that is for sure. An excellent charm from Otter will get the cleanse off of Sushi. It's a good pick. They use a lot, but they get it done.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful usage of their champion kits here. Team 1 understanding like, hey, we can get the pick on to Zyko. We can eliminate some of their vision. We can kind of start taking control over this Baron side here and really start pressuring Team Zyko to be the ones on the offensive and see what they can do. I really like that.
They are chasing for this. My gosh, Otter's saying, guys, come on, leave me alone. You're chasing me all across the map here. I got no ult, I got no flash, but they're gonna get the kill. Will and Samikin here for T2. They are determined, and they get their prize.
Beautiful chase down coming from both of those guys. Ultimate was used in that earlier fight against Zyko as Zamudo and Quacker once again panning to the top side. Quacker not having the best of times here as he's down about an item and a half or so, and Zamudo is just going to keep pressuring this top lane turret. Will is here. No ultimate, no flash, no flag and drag available. There are 3 members here for Zamudo right now. And Samikin, they remember.
Gonna get the tree. Yes, exactly. That's a perfect thing to say there, Shibby. They do remember. And they're saying, hey, buddy, remember when you chased our mid laner all the way to Narnia for this kill? Well, guess what? It's your turn. And it's going to be Samikin trying to get anything that they can before they inevitably go down. They're delaying, they're stalling, buying time for anything else to get used. And the Solar Flare is committed, and Samikin will drop. So it is the kill now. 5 versus 4 on the map for the next couple seconds here for the side of T1.
Beautiful, beautiful play from them, right? To get that chase down, to use the pressure that Zamudo is creating on that top side. 3 members of Tier 2 were there. They showed on the map. That play for Samikin, easily executable. Super safe play. Enchanted Crystal Arrow doesn't hit, but it just delays enough. And yeah, I mean, burning that Leona ultimate, it's a relatively low cooldown for an ultimate, so you can burn that anytime you find that pick here. Mountain Dragon going to go over into the favor of Team 1, and that was a solo kill onto the mid lane. I think we missed it. I believe Sushi just got ran down by Zamudo.
That can happen. Hey, this Udyr is strong underneath the tier 2. Now it's time for T1 to pull the trigger. They said, hey, they got no ADC. We're strong right now. Let's go for it. Enchanted Crystal Arrow from Scary Jerry is going to hit onto Zyko. As Quacker is actually going to kick Otter into the middle of the team, and Will's going to finish that one off with the dunk of the Cataclysm. Zyko is the next target, going to flash over the wall to deny some time here. Will is getting caught up here by Scary Jerry. Zyko actually gets out, so it'll only be the jungle from tier 2 or T2 that will be gotten. But it's going to be the Baron. You're right.
Yeah, Zamudo and the rest of the gang, even with Otter going down, he's got 4 members here. Scary Jerry still alive. You got the burn from the Udyr, and obviously Kryra here on the Viego. They'll be able to rifle this Baron down relatively quickly. I don't know much if Samikin and Zyko can do anything. Sushi is on the backside. Remember, he got killed very early on in that tier 2. It's a 3v5 with 2 damage members up for Team Zyko.
And Samikin has access to the Spiraling Despair. Mixture is just trying to be the sacrificial lamb while the rest of the team takes the Baron, but they're still 2k HP. They do have the smite advantage here. Kryra is going to get that one. So the Baron's secured here for T1, but can they get out of this situation? Can they hold on to that big purple worm? Zamudo is tanking so much damage right now. Zyko is just trying to hold on to his life, but the first reset should come through here for Kryra, as now Udyr is here with the ultimate, the Spear Rush. It's so powerful, but can the reset come through for Kryra? It cannot. Samikin and Sushi, they're doing so well to kite away, but they just have no front line to protect them. It's a quadra kill for Udyr, and that is exactly the play you want as an up-and-coming prospect in this Combine.
Beautiful, beautiful turn after the Baron here. Although Kryra goes down, they're able to persevere in that fight. Massive, massive play from them. Really good job from Team 1 to kind of secure the Baron and then win that ensuing fight. I almost thought Team Zyko had it. It looked a little dicey for Team 1 there. Zyko, Samikin, and Sushi doing all they can to get as much damage as possible. But like you mentioned, Udyr just coming up with the hero play, coming up with the resets. And once that one kill comes in, she can just slide on through and look to devastate the rest of Team 2 here. It's not over, obviously, only 5,000 gold, but Team 2 staring down the barrel right now. Baroned up minions in the mid lane. Zamudo can transfer either to that bot side or the top side if he wants to go for a 1-4 action. But him having this massive tank presence, now picking up the Unending Despair, this guy is pretty unkillable.
Pretty scary. And that's a level 12 Ezreal who's going to try and eat through him. But there's so much healing, too, from this Udyr. And there's no healing reduction yet on the side of T2 either. So that's another thing to think about. His Solar Flare and the Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide, but the Zenith Blade will connect. Is there any follow-up here? Udyr's going to come through. Is not going to be able to finish off Samikin, so it might have been Mixture that's gone too far now. And Udyr has to run away as well. Do we see any TP flanks? We do not. Quacker does not have it available. Zamudo, all the meanwhile, takes down the tier 2. So that's going to be 700 gold going his way there. 450. As now Quacker and Will are going to try and once again tag team this Udyr. But hey, this time, Shivy, you're laughing. I'm laughing too, man. They can't do anything about this. They're going to use the Cataclysm, but Zamudo, he doesn't care about anything. He's trapped inside of those rocks and is just kicking up the lawn chair, sipping his drink. He's fine.
He's completely fine there. He could have, you know, if you had told me Zamudo just pressed one button and then just started, like, you know, took his hands off the keyboard and just waited, that's probably pretty believable, because that guy took no damage, forced the ultimate out of Jarvan just so he could get away. I mean, it's not enough. You need 5 members, I think, for Zamudo if you want to take him down here. Samikin, though, doing a very good job playing his life in some of these very, like, do-or-die situations, right? How many ultimates have you been seeing getting invested in this into him? And he just lives. He lives with a sliver of HP, or he dodges out the key abilities. Very, very well played. If Samikin goes down in that bot lane over there, that tier 2 is completely in the hands of Team 1 there. So very well played from them to stall out, to make this Baron not as useful maybe as it should have been into cracking open the tier 3. But it is going to give them a lot of time to pick up this dragon that's coming up in about 35 seconds. And that's 3 mountain dragons if they pick it up. A lot of free extra MR and armor that's only going to get worse once he picks up that ocean or the mountain soul.
Yeah, that's just adding on top of the unkillable traits that Zamudo has. You can't let them get that mountain soul. Maybe the 3rd mountain. Okay, it sucks, but it's better than giving away that soul. You have a little bit of time to try and collect yourself if you are T2. But the Baron, like you mentioned there, Shibby, wasn't as effective as they would have hoped. Maybe wanted to crack open more tier 2 towers, except for just the one inside the mid lane, and collect even more of a gold lead than they already have. But still in very firm control of this game. I don't know. I don't think, yeah, this dragon is just going to be given away. So that patented mountain soul, that is going to be sort of where we see this game eclipse and get to its climax, because if that gets let through, Arrow's going to miss. That's where the game is going to be very, very difficult and nigh impossible for T2. As let's see if Quacker gets out of this one. I see the Leona on the flank. The Solar Flare will connect, and this should just be a deadly sin. There is 0 MR on this champion, so Udyr does so much damage, and Zamudo might just be here to collect that one, and will.
Yeah, puts the gold into his pocket, but because they invested so many members, mid lane tier 1 is right for the taking here. Team Zyko, though, yeah, TP coming in. They're looking to extend the play. Maybe an overextension from Sushi and the gang. Let's see if Zamudo can chase him down.
Sushi is the target. The Arcane Shift just in time to buy himself a little bit of space. Spectral Maw going to be dodged away from. This is 5 versus 4. They're going for the long chase again. There's been a lot of these in this game here, as it's going to be Kryra to start things off here. Sushi's caught up in the middle of everything. The Arcane Shift away. Yes, Samikin there, very menacing. And the rest of T1, they back away.
Yeah, I feel like if Team 1 chased a little bit more, it could have been really, really devastating for them. Good looks from them, understanding like, hey, we can't really chase much more. Samikin's on the backside. A ton of damage is going to come in. This guy's 3.5 items right now. Scary Jerry eats a full Arcane Barrage. This is a good thing about Team Zyko's composition, is that they can kind of play that cat and mouse game, right? The kiting game with the Ezreal, with the Hui, and really kind of make you pay if you over chase onto them, especially with the things of like Braum. You've also got Will here. Otter is going to get caught out.
Otter is definitely in trouble. It's a very shifty fox, but there's a lot of CC available and no friends nearby. The shutdown goes to Samikin, and that's going to be nice there to get a little bit of gold back into the pocket of your Hui, who's working towards that 4th item. So don't count out this mid laner here from T2.
He's working towards that death cap right now. Double rods in his inventory. That is going to slow the Baron take just a little bit because Otter did go down. The Ahri did get caught out. Zyko, though, by himself, not really able to contest as much vision as he'd like. Quacker on that bot side does have the TP available, as well as Samikin, so they're just going to try to fix their wave states, get these lanes shoving, and make Team 1 fix their waves and try to push these back into the tier 2s, into the tier 3s before they can realistically start looking at this Baron. Vision control is theirs, as you can see on the top side. There's about like one red trinket, I think, or like a red ward coming out from Team Zyko here, but mostly river control is for Team 1 here. They can pressure the Baron as much as they want. Let's see if they can actually pull Team 2's card, though. Team Zyko has TPs available. If Team 1 pull this Baron and they just get the TPs out of the way, they can re-aggress back onto it. They can, they can peel off of it and then go back onto it later once the wave states have been corrected.
Absolutely, and that's the fight for the mid lane priority right now. A TP is being committed, and Shendu Crystal Arrow is used onto Zyko, who's once again going to be the man to tank up all the damage. Flash away into the Raptor Pit, but Otter's quick to follow. Zamudo taking up in the front side. It's a 1-for-0 here for T1 to start the fight off as Will flashes away from his own Cataclysm, keeping Scary Jerry and Zamudo locked up and stuck in that solitary confinement there. But that's the pick. Can they leverage the Baron off this Shivy?
They got both TP, or they got one TP out here. Samikin might look to purchase his death cap if he's got enough gold so far here. Was sitting on the double rods. But yeah, I feel like Team 1 can pressure this Baron, and Samikin's not going to have any time to go back to shop. They have to contest this on Team Zyko's side. All their damage is still up. Will still is a tank. You have the smite available. Seen his lands.
It connects onto Will. Mixture now once again is separated from the team, but the Baron is dropping. This should be the prize here for T1. Is Zamudo just going 1v5 right now. Flashes away from the Flag and Drag, but again, taking a whole lot of damage. Do they have enough? It doesn't look like they do. And it's going to be Otter to completely evaporate Sushi off of the map, and now the chase will continue here. Kryra looking for any type of reset to start to take over this fight with the Heartbreakers, but they won't risk throwing away their Baron. They got it. Zyko, you're going to be walking up real far here. There's still some people around. The Solar Flare will stun up Samikin as well. They get that Braum once again as the stun from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is huge onto Quacker, and now Will is being caught up here. Can't go anywhere. Scary Jerry putting in so much damage. It was, oh my goodness. They were recalling, but now they chase them down for all of these kills.
Yeah, pretty much an ace here. A bit delayed, but gets the job done. Team 1 taking the Baron off Zamudo, just full face tanking all of Team Zyko there. They can't hope to bring this guy down. There was a little bit of sliver of hope when he only had the health items, but with Unending Despair, with Spirit Visage now being built on top of that, also racking in that Forbidden Idol, extra shielding and healing power. I mean, it's rough. Dragon's going to come up here. Mountain Soul for Team 1. They've stacked 4 Mountain Dragons if they get this on top of the Soul. I mean, we talked about individuals on Team 1 side being unkillable. This surely seals the deal. There's maybe a 1% chance that Team Zyko can take anyone down on the side of Team 1 here.
Yeah, it looks like it's wraps for this game. Based on the way it's going, it's a 12K lead. As casters, we like to always give the team that's behind the benefit of the doubt. But right now, not a whole lot of stuff going your way here if you're T2. That's the Mountain Soul. That's Baron here. The base is yet to be cracked. That's the next goal for T1. They want those super minions flooding into the base on top of all the damage that they have to offer. Infinity Edge for Scary Jerry is on the way with that BF sword and that pickaxe. I believe a Guardian Angel here for Kryra as well. So you got to eat through the Mountain Soul, and then Kryra's coming back and saying, what's up, man? I'm still alive. Potentially in the next couple of seconds here when that buy comes through with the siege will start now for the side of T1.
Yeah, I don't know how they kill Zamudo. The guy has his full build. Dawn Core as his final item. That's going to give him extra shielding on his W. It's this guy's unkillable. Just let him push. Take the 4v5 into the bottom lane, right? Like Team 2 just have to kind of force something with these 4 members. Give Zamudo what he wants. But right now, this base cracked open, and I mean, there's not much they can do. Zamudo's zoning 5 right now.
It's just his HP bar doesn't move. It only gets even bigger with the great health. That's a huge solar flare, though, from Mixture. That should just set up for the end of the game. Everyone on the side of T2 is gone in an instant. And that is going to be wraps here for the first game of this opening 3 block now. They're trying to get the mental advantage here over Will. They get the kill in the fountain. The Nexus will follow. And a great starting game for this T1 team.
Yeah. I mean, and I've just been impressed with Kryra, right, specifically. A guy that has had such a crazy rise when it comes to his time in competitive, right? Played Tier 3, then played Tier 2 with CCG within the same year, and is now looking to leverage his early quick rise from Tier 3 to T2 into this Combine. Has just been playing very, very well so far. I think he only has 1 loss under his belt, but just is a menace on a multitude of different champions. AP, tanks, like you name it, this guy can just play everything. So just, I mean, I've been a big Kryra fan. I'm a little biased. I'm a jungle man. I love watching junglers pop off. But I mean, him and Zamudo just absolutely took that game over. And, you know, with the help of Ardir kind of picking up the pieces here and there. But yeah, Kryra and Zamudo just fantastic, fantastic players. Look at that damage coming out from Zamudo. Probably tanked the most and did the most damage.
Now, that is, yeah, exactly. Scary Jerry and Zamudo, though, 2 players who won the NACL with Dragonsteel. These are some pretty skilled players in the Tier 2 scene. Now you pair it up with a player like Otter, who's been playing in the Tier 3 scene for a little bit, had some placements that were not as good as one may have hoped, but now being paired with better players here, you can see the opportunities for this player to thrive in that kind of environment. So it was a nice showing from Otter on the Ahri in this one, and the rest of the team doing quite well there. Samikin, though, still able to do a good chunk of damage on the way. I think the main issue this game was, I mean, the top side just didn't go as they planned. You know, Zamudo just went crazy. The lane phase was not going nicely for the Lee Sin. There wasn't opportunities to find those insects onto targets like Scary Jerry or Otter either. So that might have been the issue here in the draft, but that's going to be it for the first game. Is now for the next one, we have coaches that are going to be in the ears of the players.
Yeah, will be.
I see you, peekaboo, I see you, looking at me, looking at you. Hold up, where you going? What you doing? Who you seeing? What you need? What you want? I said, without you by my side, my side, my side. Without you by my side. One time, from side to side. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. Without you by my side, I can't go outside. One time, from side to side. chest. I want to forget it, take a breath and leave you away, away. But it's not that easy, 'cause you make me miss you again, again. If you want, just come. If you want, just come. Don't leave me again, leave me again. If you want, just come. If you want, just come. Don't leave me again, leave me again. There's no time for regret, but I remember how I slept in your chest. I want to forget it, take a breath and leave you away, away. But it's not that easy, 'cause you make me miss you again, again. If you want, just come. If you want, just come. Don't leave me again, leave me again. If you want, just come. If you want, just come. Don't leave me again, leave me again.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Welcome back to the Path2Pro Combine, where we have our second game of our first three matches here, where team number one was able to take the first match, with the new stipulation of game number 2 being that the coaches are in voice comms. So might not really affect anything gameplay wise or like viewer wise, might not see much of a difference, but this is the new thing that the players are having to face here at the Combine, and we'll see how they handle all of this. I'm still Ferris. He's still Shibby. How are we feeling after game number 1 and how everything went down?
Yeah, we'll just call Team 1 Team Zamudo because that guy just put
That's a
the
great
team on
idea.
his back. Yeah, Team Zamudo just absolutely running topside, and Zamudo specifically just kind of leveraging the Udyr into the Lee Sin. Probably not what Quacker expected. I mean, Udyr is one of those champions, again, really good at stonewalling. You can't really have any kill pressure. And if you overcommit into a champion like him, he will just punish you, right? Empowered W, empowered R. These abilities just kind of rip through melee top laners here. Well, on the side of Team 2, Team Zyko, flashes of brilliance, right? I think Will did a really good job trying to be where he needs to be as the Jarvan here, right, in the mid lane. You saw him pop up in the bot lane, pick up some advantageous kills, right? Just was relatively at the right place at the right time. And, it can't be stressed enough how good Sammy can play despite his team kind of being in the hole around 15 minutes in, right? I mean, he was just dodging out abilities multiple times, getting ganked in that mid lane and outplaying it, just doing a really good job getting more out of dire situations than he should have. So I assume in in a better game state and in a more advantageous game situation, Sammykin and Team Zyko can really kind of come out on top here. As the sides have swapped, Team Zyko will be on blue side and Team Zamudo will be on the red side here. And like you mentioned, Ferris, coaches will be in the voice comms here. So maybe we'll see cleaner rotations. Maybe we'll see players, taking less risks or having better objective control around things like the Dragon, around Baron, and so on and so forth. So that might be it. We might see cleaner gameplay, assuming the coaches will be like screaming in the players' ears.
Yeah, just stop doing this. Stop doing this. You're getting run down by the Udyr again. My gosh, no, none of that. We do see the Aurora ban that is coming through now for Team Zamudo. They have to pay the Aurora Yone Skarner tax. Well, actually, Skarner's made it through thus far. Let's see if it's taken away. But still, 100% ban presence on the Aurora and the Yone Samikins. Zoe as well off the board. There's that Skarner. And actually, a Yasuo ban here. I know Utter is a pocket pick Yasuo connoisseur, and I'm very surprised that this actually forced out a ban from Team Zyko.
Yeah, I mean, respect earned when it's given, right? I'm sure Otter, he's probably played in solo queue, has probably terrorized solo queue with the Yasuo. Yeah. I'm sure these guys are familiar with who he is, but the Sejuani being locked in for Kryra here. Surprising, right? Because we did see him on a lot of carries, was playing more carry-style junglers, so this might be a coach choice to put him on something more facilitator-esque. But that Kaisa being picked up in the hands of a player like Scary Jerry, one of the best tier 2 North American AD carries that we have. I mean, that's just screaming carry potential, right? And they could pivot into dive, they can pivot into poke. Like, this Kaisa doesn't really reveal too much with that Sejuani, right? You can do so much here. As the Poppy's going to get locked in on the side of Team Zyko here. Jungle or top lane or even support, but now this screams either jungle or support.
And the Poppy provides a good amount of value here with the first 2 picks that Team Zamudo have shown in the Sejuani Arctic Assault. Can be blocked by the Steadfast Presence. Same thing with the Killer Instinct. As we see a Swain come through, this is something, I mean, we saw this pick over at Worlds. It didn't have great success there on Fnatic's side, but I mean, the support position is still up and available. I assume this will go into the mid lane, maybe even as a top lane counter into the Cassante here if Zamudo wants to pull that out. So I'm very intrigued by this pick that Team Zamudo has decided to pull out.
Yeah, Swain going in the top side, a sustain war into Cassante. I mean, he just pops ult. Cassante always wants to be within the range of Swain's ultimate, right? Like, you can't really use your abilities outside of it. He doesn't have a lot of good poke. He's always going to be up close and personal. So if Zamudo pops that ultimate, as long as he's able to consistently lifesteal and life vamp away, like, I don't know if there's a kill angle for Quacker here. And we talked about Zamudo having those weird, wacky picks. This could also pilot into the mid lane. I like the Rel on top of this. I mean, Kaisa Rel, just a very substandard, really good lane. Will be kind of rough, though. Poppy providing a ton of value now. Can block the W from the Rel, can block, like you said, the Q from the Sejuani, as well as the dash in from Kaisa. A lot of good value with Steadfast Presence and Poppy here, as the Kindred is going to get locked in on top of the Seraphine. That's Seraphine mid, most likely, yeah.
They're taking a page out of the FlyQuest book here, I see. And Seraphine, you know, has great wave clear and shows that you don't have to be, you know, that super big playmaker. You can just sit there, wave clear, and completely neutralize your lane to be effective. And also the Encore might be very nice into the engage that might be coming through from Mixture's Rel and Kryra's Sejuani. And now the response from Utter is going to be the Smolder. Now, you want to do nothing in lane? Hey, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm going to stack. I'm going to scale. I'm going to be this late game monster for my team and do my very best Chovy impression on the Smolder. That's exactly what Otter's going to respond with.
Yeah, I love that. I love that response from Otter, right? Like, okay, you want to stonewall the mid lane? You want to just make it really boring to play? That's fine with me. I'll farm it up, and I'll get to that execute standpoint very, very quickly here. Will on this Kindred, though, we'll need to see how Team Zyko actually plays around securing those stacks. That's really the big difference maker between a good Kindred and a bad Kindred, right? How does his team play around him, play for him? Does he call for objectives? Does he call for playing for a stack that's in the enemy jungle here? The Zamudo, though, on the Swain into the Cassante. That's going to be a matchup to watch, right? Once they start trading blows, once both of these guys hit level 6, will be really interesting how Quacker can find a kill angle ranged into a ranged top laner, right? Has that Aftershock available. Grasp, you're not going to get too much value out of. So I like that small adaptation from Quacker here. Sammykin, though, should have constant mid lane pressure, mid lane push that will allow Will to start invading the jungle here. This Kindred, pretty good matchup into the Sejuani, as now he's going to face check into this red buff. I don't think they actually saw Kryra, though.
They did not, but they will see Kryra once he goes towards that red buff. I do believe it will be the red buff start here for the Sejuani. The one thing about this mid lane matchup is the fact that, yes, it's very nice for Smolder to have a zero interaction lane, but he also wants to trade onto the Seraphine to get those kind of amount of stacks. As we see a trade in the bot side, it's going to be Zyko going down to half HP, but the less that you trade, if Seraphine keeps her distance, those are going to be less stacks that will actually come through for Audier on the Smolder. So that might be at least a little bit of an asset for the Seraphine and the side of Team Zamudo in this game. Or sorry, Team Quacker, rather.
Yeah, shout out to production, though, for the double lane cam. Bot and top, mid and bottom, like getting that trading going. I really like this view. Is we do see bottom lane trading, Mixture and Scary Jerry trying to exert some pressure here, but level 2 is hit by Zyko and Sushi.
And they want to try and get at least maybe, they want to get something. They want to get a flash, scare him away, get a cleanser, a barrier off of Scary Jerry there. And not quite going to be able to get that. We see the early prio in Zamudo here. I think a lot about this 1 versus 1 between the Cassante and the Swain. The Demonic Ascension's always going to be cooking when Cassante's in range. It just really comes down to how much poke here with Zamudo with the range. See, he already has Quacker down to half HP. And the Cassante has so much damage to offer and can out-damage this Swain in the all-out form. But if he starts the fight with half of his health, then that is sort of where I see the lower damage from the Swain early on actually not mattering too much and how this counter pick actually plays out. So I think for the moment, Zamudo's lane state right now, this is exactly where he wants it to be.
And he knows exactly where the jungler started, right? Will got that warded onto the red side, so he knows he's starting top side. He knows he's starting blue. He's going to path towards bottom. So Zamudo can just play like this for pretty much the next couple minutes until Will rotates back up to his top camps. We're going to see where this mark spawns as bottom lane. Sushi and Zyko trading HP bars. Both supports very, very low. Both junglers down here as well, thinking the same thing. I think the 3v3, I'm pretty sure Team Zyko has this, right? Will full health right now on the Kindred.
They have the level 4 advantage as well, as they're just going to use the Shattering Strike and the Flash. Excellent snap from Mixture onto Zyko. They're going to kill him immediately as Sushi wants to aggress forward, but it's a 1 versus 3 and can't quite do so. The 4th shot is available, but look at the damage from Scary Jerry now. Those notes from the Lethal Temple coming through, and the Flash forward blocks those 4 plasma stacks. Shattering Strike will land onto Will here, 2 for 0 for the side of Team Zyko in this exchange. The Arctic Assault, the Flash from Kryra will miss. It will not matter. I think this will be the trade. Can't quite walk it down. But a 2 or 3 for 1 in favor of Team Zyko. Team Zamudo. They are very happy about this.
Yeah, and I thought Team Zyko might have had the 3v3 if they faced heads up, if they tried to play front to back. But Mixture getting that flash Q is Zyko. I don't think he has enough damage. There's so much shielding, so much autos going down. You don't have enough HP.
Zyko's so close to dropping there. It's going to be, well, probably might be able to get a reset off here, but very close there. Almost got the shot or the kill there onto Mixture with the steadfast presence. It wasn't enough, and thankfully didn't drop there in that exchanges. Will get the first mark of the game for himself.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a beautiful play. As we get the replay coming out, Mixture hiding in the bush. The flash Q is what sets this fight off, because Jin's nowhere near. It's not actually a 3v3, it's a 2v3, as Sushi is just, you know, kind of sequestered off onto that bottom lane by himself. They're able to get all of that damage off onto Zyko here, and then now it's just easy picking. Because it's a split fight, because Will's on one side, Sushi's on the other, Scary Jerry is going to rifle autos with that lethal tempo into Will, and now Will feels like he has to get something back, right? They've invested so much time, 2 people have gone down. Surely he can get a kill here, and I like that Cryo is trying to predict the jump away from Will, ends up giving his life, as now Zyko doing a good job blocking that ultimate.
It blocks for Mixture, but Samikin's level 6 and the Encore plus the beat drop. So much CC. Nothing Mixture can do to get out of that one. And the Dragon is alive here, and it should just be their prize for winning out in this river fight. So good setup this time around from Team Zyko, and they'll be able to collect the first Hex Tech Drake of the game.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful steadfast presence coming out from Poppy there. That W, I mean, it's just kind of destroys everything that Mixture wants to do. That's what probably should have happened earlier in that fight, but because that flash Q just kind of got onto him, Zyko didn't really have any time to respond here. But you saw, telegraphed, it sucks. Will, though, not able to get the recall off Sushi and Zyko.
Was in trouble. He dodges away from the Shattering Strike. Steadfast Presence will block the crash down from coming through, as Mixture is going to drop potentially to this Ignite from Zyko. It's going to happen. The outplay is in. They don't have the damage on the initial engage here, as Deadly Flourish will start the re-chase for Team Zyko in this 3 versus 3. Scary Jerry, no flash to get away from this one. Can he trade one back? Yes, he can. But Will gets the shutdown, and it is an absolute grudge match down here, as we see right back towards the top side, although coming through from Quacker. Demonic Ascension channel here from Zamudo. But I think this Cassante just has the damage. The Q3 will be flashed away from Zamudo, gets a little bit of healing. Quacker, can you outplay this? This is as close as it gets. Q3 lands. The Cassante will win the 1v1.
And Quacker just having that little extra bit of damage to take Zamudo out. The healing is not there. He doesn't have the Drain Tank ability just yet. It just couldn't get enough going. Even with Conquer, even with the ultimate going, Quacker doing a good job biding his time, playing within that lethal range and getting the kill there. Super close fight in that top side, but bottom lane, well played from Zyko, Sushi, and Will there to get some gold back after that, you know, horrendous play in the bottom lane where they gave up 3 kills here. Gold has relatively evened up, and with that kill from Quacker, Will's going to be able to pick up these grubs relatively free. Cryo, though, does on his red side. Let's see if he can take that mark and snatch that away from Will right now.
Should be able to. It's going to be the grubs that aren't quite ready to be taken just yet, or like they are being taken, but not enough time to get over to that mark for Will. So it will be the mark denial, but I think Will be happy with just the 3 grubs that are being taken for the squad here. You always like to see those grubs, makes those cross-map plays much more favorable for you. And let's see, I mean, in a couple minutes time, if they can actually get themselves the 6, because Will is unleashed. 3 kills for this Kindred, very much accelerated, so could be quite the asset when they want to make those plays later on.
Yeah, and Kryra, not on a carry style jungler, 2-1-1 right now, but is on a facilitator, is on something like this as Wani. Blocks out Mixture's engage, but so much damage going into this bottom lane.
There's just so much damage that's available. When you get that first bit of crowd control layered, and you have a Kaisa as your AD carry, the burst is going to come through, and even if you are a more tanky champion, like the Poppy, no Aftershock procs, if you're the first one to get engaged on, there's so much damage and so much threat of you getting one shot there. And part of the reason why this lane has been so volatile so far, on top of the fact that the junglers have been paying so much attention. You talked about Scary Jerry. On a carry champion, more so than something like an Ashe or a Jhin, a hyper carry in the Kaisa, you want to be paying attention and giving this player leads. There's a reason why this guy is widely regarded as probably the best AD carry in the Combine right now. placed first in the NACL with Dragon Steel. Same thing with Zyko and Zamudo. So if you're getting this player ahead, you're going to be feeling pretty happy for yourself, which is why Kryra paying so much attention down here.
And then trying to look at facilitated guide here. Will does have the Lamb's respite available, so Sushi not in any real danger. Just a little bit of pressure being put on. But once they see this guy back, that's going to be the signal
They're
instead.
Just going to cancel the back. They might try to burst him there before the Lamb's respite could come through. Will still sitting at a comfortable 1/3 HP and is just going to channel the back once again. But they're still maintaining this pressure down here.
Well, I thought they would have opted in to let him back, go to base, and then try to dive this bottom side, but instead they get a big chunk of damage off. Ultimate wasn't invested from Kryra there. Maybe if they got that down, they would have been able to kill him, but really just a big chunk of damage. They were sitting on a ward. We're back to kind of neutral. Both teams dead even in gold right now, and Quacker having a much better time in game 2 than in game 1 when he was on the Lisa and picks up a ton of magic resist, right? Cowl plus the Negatron cloak. Zamudo has no hope of actually trying to kill this guy.
Certainly not. The plated steel caps, you don't have any ability power yet. Ruby Crystal in your inventory too. That's a plate for Quacker. Down in CS, here is Zamudo doing a nice job of farming, getting close to that 10 CS per minute mark. But with that plate, that closes the gap for Quacker plus the solo kill earlier. So that's very nice. And it kind of closes up the gap here inside of the jungle as well. I mean, a kill advantage plus 20 CS for Will. Has Trinity Force completed for this upcoming potential Drake fight here in 10 seconds. This is a huge item completion for the Kindred. Something that he probably would not have without all these kills. So pay attention to how much success Will can have in this upcoming fight.
Scary Jerry did just pick up the static shiv as well, so we've got 280 carries, different positions, different teams that have picked up their first legendary item, and they're really fighting over this dragon right now. Chemtech Dragon, the second dragon to be posted up here. I think really good for Team 2, Team Zyko here, if they can pick that up, start stacking those early, even despite Team 1's 80 carry doing better in lane and much stronger right now with an item advantage. But Samikin has shoved that mid lane out. They do have first move. Will starting it, but I don't know if they can actually finish it. They're kind of scared. Quacker is running down here. No TP available. Ghost up, ultimate up. Let's see if they can get something done.
Zamudo, I'm not quite sure. I think there is TP available for Zamudo walking down that mid lane, but this Drake is going down, but Will is able to hit onto this, and Kryra had to walk back because the Keeper's Verdict was being channeled, and a heroic charge will stop the Smite Steal from the Team Zamudo jungler. Now Zyko's in a little bit of trouble with the Ram's Respite. Will keep him alive. Quacker locked up in the middle as well, but Scary Jerry is unloading, completely untouched in this fight. The Void Seeker will finish off that kill. It will be 2 to Otter and Scary Jerry, but the Drake critically goes to Team Zyko.
Team Zyko doing a fantastic job zoning out Kryra. You saw the body slam coming in from Zyko, as well as Quacker just zoning him away. There was no way Kryra was going to get into that dragon and steal it. So they take the dragon, they trade a kill back as well. Gold still even, but Mountain Soul once again on the menu here, as we do get a replay coming out here. And I want you guys to watch what Quacker and Zyko do. Kryra is trying to get to the QB. He's trying to get to the dragon, but gets absolutely stuffed out by the defensive lineman here. And Samikin has to flash away. The fight becomes a little bit splintered, and unfortunately Zyko does go down here. Quacker is trying to get as much damage as he can out, but Scary Jerry all the meanwhile firing away, rifling away on this Kaisa. They get the extra kills, they don't get the dragon, but just beautifully played from the top laner and the support of Team Zyko here.
I wonder if Team Zyko is just going to give away. They got the first grub of this second trio. That means they have 4 grubs. They will have Void Might spawning for them. A lot of times, if you don't want to risk the fight, you're okay with taking away that 4th grub. But look at the positioning of Will right now. Is this the only grub left? Or is the other one just hiding there in the Fog of War? It's just hiding in the Fog of War. So this is 1 grub, 6 denied. And that might just be enough here for Team Zamudo. They say, okay, things didn't go maybe as well as we would have thought. I mean, Scary Jerry got a couple kills in the previous fight, but let's just not risk our entire game off this 1 grub here. Let's play it slow. We denied the 6, good enough for us. The difference between 4 and 5 isn't too much. And that's exactly what they do. They might look to make a cross-map play onto Quacker here. Zamudo taking a nice trade to set up for the dive in the future. Pathmaker to negate the CC from the pullback. But Scary Jerry says, I'm not waiting for anyone to tank for me. I'm going right in with the killer instinct. And they make the cross-map play work.
4 members were coming down. The Goon Squad was coming for Quacker, but Scary Jerry was the only member needed to finish that kill off. As Sammykin, ultimate, goes wide. Aldur, though, might get the same treatment as Quacker right now.
This could be the play, but it's very difficult, though. Smolder has that mom there that just makes it so difficult to dive, and Will is not trying to play that game any longer. That was a really risky dive, I want to say, with no CC setup. That was... it worked. Hey, it worked. So, props to Team Zyko for that one.
Yeah, well played from Team Zyko here. Will and Sammy can get the kill onto Audir. I'd love to get a stack check as well around the 15-minute mark here. I mean, Smolder just he was kind of undisturbed in the laning phase. Nothing really happened between him and Sammykin. We didn't see too many ganks go off. Nothing too crazy. They kind of only grouped up for those team fights here. As Will is on the 4-stack mark for Kindred, so he's a champion, and 122 stacks on the Smolder here. So he's still a ways away from the 225, but it gets a lot easier to stack, and he probably should hit 225 around the 22-minute mark. We'll check back in later here, but that's what I'm predicting based off of how he's been stacking so far.
And it's nothing crazy. It's nothing that is too scary for Team Zyko. They've kept the Smolder at a relatively solid pace at his stacking rate, and so they still have a lot of time to play with before that 225 danger comes through and a new obstacle for them to tackle. But right now they have the mid lane priority moving towards the Rift Herald, which is their next neutral objective that is on their mind. But the rest of Team Zamudo, they're grouped up around this mid lane. Looks like they're posturing potentially for a contest. Kryra will see this happening. They're not really in position, though. This should just go down, but Kryra is actually in the area, can go for this, but the Keeper's Verdict will say, see you later. Zyko says, thanks for the Herald.
Beautiful, beautiful Keeper's Verdict. Zyko using that ultimate to its utmost efficiency, bouncing the jungler out of there, and Kryra had no hope. They didn't even really feel like Team Zamudo really wanted to kind of contest that Herald. They're maybe looking for something a little bit more opportunistic. Zamudo has just been pushing that bottom lane. He got, I believe, the tier 1. He's pressuring that tier 2, but if I'm Team Zyko here, I should just go for this tier 2 right now because Zamudo has stayed down there for so long. I don't know if they'll be able to get that charge in the top side, soften that turret up. That's a lot of gold that could go into the favor of Zamudo in that bot side if he picks up that tier 2.
Certainly, and at this stage of the game, 16 minutes in, that's a lot of gold to grab, as now the dragon stacking looks like it's going to stop here as the majority of the players are either resetting or on the top side for Team Zyko. And look at the minimap here. We see Will is making a play onto the tier 2. So this is what you talked about as, Encore now. They're actually looking for the dive once again onto Otter. They're going to get it. Lamb's Respite will come through and keep Will alive, and Zamudo's here to try and trade something back. Demonic Embrace will be popped, plus the flash should be good. And now this Zamudo, who's going to be online in this game. It took a little bit longer than last time. Did he just stand still? Was that a little bit of BM that we saw? Scary Jerry's in trouble too, and it's going to be the 4th shot that reigns supreme, and Sushi picks up that one. All the meanwhile, Kryra saying, guys, what's going on the other side of the map?
Kryra just like, hey guys, I'm taking dragon. Can we not die here? As Zamudo does pick up 2 kills in that top side, although Otter and Scary Jerry going down as well. I mean, just pretty much dead even kill trade across the board. Team Zamudo, though, have garnered themselves, I was about to say, nearly 1,000 gold lead. It's evened up once again. This is probably the closest game we've had so far. Just 18 minutes in, dead even gold, both pressing upon that 32,000 mark. Otter, though, putting pressure onto Quacker as he picks up that tier 1 in the bottom lane here. But Zamudo got a lot of gold just direct injected into him. Riley's plus Leandri's has been completed for this Swain. Gonna be a menace in these team fights.
And look at the CS lead that Zamudo's been able to accumulate here in his time in the side lane. This is a lot. This Cassante feels very starved at this point in the game. Has the 1 kill to help him out a bit, but it's 2 kills from the side of Zamudo. His mixture has to crash down away. It actually burned a TP here. This is going to be Quacker's TP utilized. They're not going to get much value out of this, so this is a pretty big win here. But let's look at the left side of the fight here, because someone's getting 1 shot, and that someone here is Samikin, but Quacker's dying here as well. This is really good for Team Zamudo. They have a lot left in the tank to chase this one down, as Kryra uses the flash and will finish off the Seraphine. Zyko running for their life, Mom coming through. Not going to hit anyone here, but a massive play for Team Zamudo in the mid game.
Yeah, that's going to allow them to practice tier 1 in the mid lane, right? They should just be able to take this. I don't think Team Zyko can defend this right now.
My goodness, crash down is huge for Mixture. It cuts them off, but it doesn't quite hit. The Lamb's Respite will keep Will alive, but everyone's diving in. It's the killer instinct from Scary Jerry. They can't finish off any kills, and here comes the curtain call. Otter walks out of that one. Kryra will not be so lucky. The fourth shot hits Zamudo. The tier 1 will drop, and it's a messy exchange from both teams.
Sushi picks up one on the backside. Zyko does get his recall canceled, but should be completely fine. Tier 1 secured for Team Zamudo here, but not without shedding just a little bit of blood for it. So far, though, gold still relatively close. I mean, Team Zamudo only up 1,000 right now. Not super relevant at 20 minutes into the game. Will, though, has picked up his second item. Black Cleaver in hand, can start shredding through some of the armor that is picked up from Kryra and Mixture, and even the base armor from Zamudo and the rest of the gang here. Baron is up as well. 2.5 minutes till this dragon pops up. Will Team Zamudo secure 4 Mountain Dragons? As we do see Smolder out here, 172 stacks at the 20-minute mark. So he's getting close. He's building up. 22 minutes, I said he would pick up 225. He's got a minute and a half roughly to do it. Let's see if he can get it done.
I think it'll take a little bit longer, 50 stacks. I mean, he is side laning though, so that actually might come through depending on how well he is able to get stacks off of every single wave. Zamudo's going to take some damage here, but he's actually just going to go forward. He wants this fight, but I don't know if you really do want it. The shutdown is good from Samek, and Will is now running away, doesn't have Lamb's Respite, but here's the TP from Otter. This could be the way he gets 225 with a bunch of kills inside of this fight. It's going to be Kryra to pick up the kill onto Samekin on the top side of the fight. Scary Jerry is alive, is very close to that killer instinct, going to land the Void Seeker. Will he go for this? It doesn't look like it's worth it for the moment. It might just be a Baron turn for Team Zamudo.
Why not? Samekin going down, one of your big AoE damage threats on the side of Team Zyko. Although Will still does have Smite available, 4 members strong. Maybe they're just looking to clear, maybe they're just looking to put some more pressure onto this Baron here. All the meanwhile, Otter, after participating in that fight, has gone to the top side, has started CSing once again, has started stacking once again here. Close game, but so far, because it's been more difficult to take down Zamudo, now that he has his arm guard available, he's going to build that into his Zanya's. The amount of damage that he's been able to tank up due to this Swain has allowed Team Zamudo to kind of play these fights a lot more lengthy, these more long, drawn-out fights where the lethal tempo can really start to get value. Scary Jerry on this Kaisa, really just pelting away against Team 2 here, against Team Zyko. And these long, drawn, extended fights can be a little rough, especially if your mid laner, Samekin, goes down on the Seraphine, who provides so much AoE healing, damage, CC, all that kind of stuff.
And it's no flash from Samekin. So it was Scary Jerry Mixture trying to look and fish for a play here before this next dragon spawns in 30 seconds. It's going to be another, or actually, hold on a second. I'm not sure which of the souls. It looks like it's going to be that Chemtech soul, actually, as now Zyko's going to be caught out here. Will the play continue? It's going to be Kryra to jump through with the Arctic Assault, and the crash down Megastorm for Mixture brings in 3 people. This is pretty nice, but there's no follow-up so far. Zamudo's finally going to get involved in this play, and right when he wants to go in, the Keeper's verdict says, no, you cannot play, my friend. And the encore is huge from Samekin. Excellent work from the Seraphine. All out here. But this will be the Killer Instinct from Scary Jerry to bring it back to a 1-for-1 scenario. And it's going to be a very tense moment. Will is so low on this Kindred. Otter's low as well, but it is going to be control over the Drake for the side of Team Zyko.
Team Zyko going to pick up this Mountain Dragon here, going to get that 3rd dragon, 1 step closer to Mountain Soul here, which is so helpful for a team like Team Zyko, right? Getting that little extra shielding, especially into the damage of Smolder is, Zyko wants to force something. I think Will just wants the dragon.
Yeah. A little bit of a miscommunication here. Zyko saying, what have I done here? But they might have been forced into a fight regardless, as this Drake is still very healthy. 5.7k. Here comes a TP from Quacker. And Zyko is so low, can't quite continue the engage anymore, but Quacker's full HP, ready to go. Samkin looking for a beat drop. That one's going to go wide. Now 4k HP on the Mountain Drake. The Sejuani isn't really very close right now. They found the Seraphine. This is going to be the kill here, but Mixture is going to drop 2. It's a 1-for-1. And that downtown shot there from the Smolder will pick it up. Otter gets himself a kill. And look at the long TP here, Shibby. It's a really big TP flank from Zamudo. And he's going to jump in with the Demonic Embrace. Will is going to be the target, has the Ram's last bit to keep himself alive. Quacker's here tanking up, trying to get out with that Pathmaker. There's so much damage being funneled in onto this Cassante. Finally, Scary Jerry will get the kill credit. They lose the Drake, but they win the fight.
They lose the Drake. Sammykin goes down. Quacker goes down. That's going to start the signal for the Baron, right? Mixter back up. You saw, remember, he went down when that trade happened against Sammykin. But because of the extended fight, because the massive TP coming out from Zamudo to cut Will away from his team, this Baron should just be there as Will. Smite is up, Jungler is up, but I don't think he has a way to get into this fight. Zyko looking, prodding, poking for vision right now.
It's going to be close. Keeper's Verdict is channeled. It doesn't quite hit the Sejuani, so the smite comes through. Mixture stands up Sushi to cancel the curtain call, and Scary Jerry wants the 1v1 with Will and takes him out. That is a huge kill to open up this fight. Encore will run through only onto Kryra as he has to run for the hills. As Sushi doing a good amount of damage. Zyko going to utilize the flash, the Magnet Storm to very little effect, but it brings Zyko in. The kill onto Sushi secured from Otter. Sammykin and Quacker, the 2 versus 5 will begin now, but you've gone too far forward. You've got no damage here, and this is going to be about as good as they could have hoped for Team Zamudo. They will lose their jungler, but they get the Baron and they win the next fight.
Big Baron call coming out from Team Zamudo there, and a really nice ultimate coming out from Scary Jerry. Just take the 1v1 against Will. He's definitely going to win that, especially if he's 3 items in. Sammykin doing his best, trying to get as much damage, as many kills as he can back. So it's going to stall out the Baron push just a little bit. 2 minutes to go for this Baron empowered push right now, but they can kind of, take the world as their oyster. Summoner's Rift right now as we go into that replay. You see the Baron going down. You see Zyko trying to get that Keeper's Verdict going. But once that W landed, Scary Jerry took that as the signal to go. The 1v1 on the left side, and Sushi and Zyko just trying their best. Sammykin gets a decent encore, lands onto Kryra and Otter, but that just delays the inevitable as Zyko gives his life away to protect his team. But you just see how hard it is to get into these extended fights against a team like Team Zamudo, with this Smolder having to execute, with Zamudo just having so much lifesteal, so much survivability. Kryra does go down, but that doesn't really do much. It just, like you said, delays the inevitable. The Baron push is coming in, as we saw, and that view a little over there takes the tier 1 in the top side. Tier 2 is getting pressured right now, and Sammykin's in that bot side right now. I don't know if Team Zyko can defend this top lane tier 2 right now.
It feels like it's the same situation now from game 1, where it feels a little bit hopeless. Look at Quacker and Zamudo. It's a 3-level difference between these top laners. And it is that 225 stacks from Otter, which I do believe he's either hit that right now or he's very close to getting that spike. Level 16, he's got it. This is so tough now from the Team Zyko side. They don't have a lot of options here. The Baron is good. I mean, they're defending the push for the moment, but there is still a lot of options with the last remaining 30 seconds of this Baron for Team Zamudo. It is the mid being ushered in from Otter. They're going to be able to take it out here and get a little bit of gold into their Smolder, who now has the rapid fire cannon completed. 3 items for this carry. It's the Smolder scaling. It's the lead that Zamudo has. Everything seems to be collapsing here once again from the side of Team Zyko, and they're going to have to pull off a miracle here to be able to defend their bases. The Mom runs through, does a good amount of damage. Encore will connect though onto the Smolder, and that's actually going to be him who's going to drop. That's huge. It's the kill credit going to Sammykin. Zamudo is next here on the chopping block inside of the Lamb's Respite. But he's pulled out there. Why the all out from Quacker? Mixture is here, CCing up for Scary Jerry to deal the DPS in the backside. But we said it was impossible. We said it couldn't be done. But here they are winning the fight. Scary Jerry, killer instant, gets no value. Triple kill for Sushi. They hold on valiantly.
They stopped the Baron push. They're able to get the opening kill onto Audier. And if you saw Quacker, Zamudo was in the Lamb's Respite, looking to heal, looking to kind of drain tank his way through the fight. But Quacker ults him out at the last second, picks up the kill. Your front line is done. Kryra went down. Scary Jerry and Mixture unfortunately couldn't do anything. As we get the replay, it looks like it's undefendable, right? Otter lands a massive Mom onto multiple members, but Sammykin hits a beautiful encore off the back of Sushi's stun here. The root lands, the damage comes in. Otter, unfortunately, is not that tanky of a guy. Quacker comes in, and then the curtain call on top. Now watch Zamudo go into, never mind, we're going to go into mid lane. There's another fight.
There is another fight. There's no casualties on either side. It was close. But what the most important thing is right now is it is sole point here for Team Zyko. They were on the back foot. They still are down 3,000 gold. The later this game goes, the better it will favor them, as they are the ones who are down in gold here. But picking up the Mountain Soul would pretty much just completely negate the gold lead that Team Zamudo has. It won't reflect in the gold, but the stats that Mountain Soul would give would be absolutely huge. That's what these teams are fighting for. It's going to be the jungler. That's the target. Kryra is down, and now the fight will continue here, but they've got what they wanted. If they turn onto this Mountain Drake, I would totally not disrespect that decision. They want to get the Rel as well. It's going to be Mixture to fall here. This is really the turning point of this game here, Shibby. They are on a roll right now.
Beautiful, beautiful play coming out from Team Zyko here. Gets to pick onto Kryra, who's not the tankiest of individuals, right? Went for the Build-A-Bear workshop kind of Sejuani build. Didn't really go the full tank that we typically see, right? Went for the Zeke's Herald or Zeke's Convergence into the Randuins. Doesn't have a ton of MR, doesn't have, a ton of HP to work with. So if he gets caught out, especially against champions like the Seraphine, like the Jhin, like the Kindred, who all have damage now slotted into their kits, into their items, he's going to go down very, very quickly. And the icing on top is that Mixture actually got denied the engage. Otter right now, 321 stacks at 30 minutes, but he hasn't really been allowed to use them. That top lane siege, he got caught out. In that bottom lane fight near the dragon, wasn't able to participate because his front line went down. This Smolder, as menacing as it is, if he's not allowed to participate, if you pick apart the other members of his team, he's not going to get a ton of value as the Baron is going to come up, and that's going to be Team Zyko's maybe dinner bell ready to go for this, because I don't know how Zamudo or Team Zamudo can walk into this. They don't have much vision.
The dinner bell has rung, and they are hungry, and they're ready to take down the Baron as their feast. But there's another group of members that want that Baron for themselves as well. Kryra is trying to find a way into the pit, but he's going to be gone here. This certainly will mean that Will should be able to get this with the smite, and it is going to be the case. Mixture falls. The Encore will be utilized by the Zhonya's for Zamudo to dodge away from that one. Utilizes the cleanse as well. The Lamb's Respite is good to keep some people alive. Scary Jerry joins his top laner to try and take down the Cassante. They should be successful in this. That's a huge Demonic Ascension proc from Zamudo. It is going full demon mode on this Swain, and is exactly what Team Zamudo needed by who is really their team captain in the name.
Zamudo on demon time right now in demon mode, picking up massive kills. 3 members as Kryra just stopping Zyko as well, just doing a good job keeping him busy, keeping one less member on that top side to defend the push here. This might be the end for Team Zamudo here if they can kind of crack that base open, although I think Zyko and the rest of the gang, as the pause does come in, no way!
They're saying, I've never seen a Swain that OP before. Pause, something is wrong right now. But what a statement fight there. They were losing it a bit. You and I were talking about it. The picks that were coming through from Team Zyko onto Otter, onto Kryra before the Dragon. These are detriments to them. They can't utilize the full strength of their composition if they're not all together. But that fight, much different for them. They were able to get onto a target. Their jungler did get knocked away, and they lost the Baron. But they didn't just have someone drop immediately into a 5 versus 4, which is what Team Zyko was leveraging. So this time around, it was a much better situation for them. Now they got a couple kills. I don't think there's any Barons left alive unless Will got out of that exchange and still has a Baron buff available. But now is their time to really... They've seen the blueprint for their team fighting success. Let's see if they can continue and ride this momentum of this team fight win.
Yeah, I mean, the blueprint is... make sure Zamudo's alive and make sure Otter is allowed to play and participate in the fight, right? I mean, they were in heavy execution range. I mean, that Demonic Ascension, if that didn't pick up the kill, Otter would have picked up the kill. As we do see the reason for a pause. Sushi unfortunately did disconnect there. You saw him reconnecting onto the screen. And Team Zyko has done a relatively good job of keeping themselves into this game in situations where, it looked dire. It looked very, very, very bad for them, right? Because Otter was already stacked up. Baron was taken. They're able to get that massive encore coming out from Samikin. But this last fight kind of just shows you Team Zamudo's composition, where this Swain can start to excel. Even with Sejuani not participating in the fight, the Zamudo tanked up like 3-4 members. Got a beautiful Zanya's off to kind of not get hit by the Encore, not get hit by the stun. And specifically there, Sushi, I don't know if he got stunned or if he got disconnected when he died. So that was interesting. I don't know if he actually, that was like a, unfortunately disconnected, but he was standing still for a little bit. And that was that first kill that kind of started the snowball fight for Team Zamudo here, as we are going to get back into play. Play resume in 0 seconds. It's very long 0 seconds. Is that?
Yeah,
okay,
I was gonna say.
We're in. We might hit that pause bug as well, where the game will like look like it's paused and stopped for a little bit. That's just normal client stuff, so don't worry about that, viewers, if you see that happening.
Well, thankfully, Sushi's back in the game, has power, ready to go. You can see him moving and running away from his fountain, getting out there, ready to try and take this game back for his squad. And his squad has the Mountain Soul, a huge buff here. They lost the previous fight, but this is a buff they have all the time. And Will does have, as here we see a little bit of a freeze, but we're back immediately, the Baron buff still. I'm not sure if there's much that's going to be utilized from just the one player having this. But nonetheless, at least for base defense purposes, it makes Zamudo's life a little bit harder here with clearing away at this mid-wave. Teleport coming through from Otter into the bot side. The last remaining tier 2 tower. It's hanging on by a thread. 1/3 of HP. Mixture says, I don't care how healthy the tower is. We are diving right now and is going to be eliminated immediately from the fight. Samikin is so low, flashes away from the Lamb's Respite. It's a 1-for-0 play for the side of Team Zyko for the moment. Zyko is really low, 1/3 HP. Zamudo can't quite get into too many people's range to get the healing, and the fourth shot will bring him down. That is Sushi coming off of that disconnection into a great fight for himself. One traded back here. Pay attention to Otter. This is his time to shine. This is his fight to find the kills, but the deadly flourish from Sushi is too much. The base defense is good, and this is going to be critical here for Team Zyko's success.
Pings going down into the tier 2 in the mid lane. Big, heavy death timers on the side of Team Zamudo. 25 seconds roughly on Scary Jerry and Zamudo here. Will is going to smite that away. Try to get something back. That's absolutely rude. And Mixture kind of forcing the dive onto that bottom lane tier 2. I thought they'd be completely content on taking it and backing out. Zamudo as well wasn't able to get a lot of healing off, wasn't able to get, as tanky as he would like to have been. And that was a good, well-played fight coming out from Team Zyko there to take advantage of the over-aggressiveness of Team Zamudo there. They don't pick up too much. They get the tier 2. They get some gold back into their pockets. They did end up losing that tier 2 in the bottom lane. But again, gold stabilized pretty much neck and neck. And at this point in the game, 35 minutes in, Ferris, that 1,000 gold lead doesn't really mean a lot.
It means quite literally nothing at this point. We're seeing final items come through for pretty much everyone. And this is Team Zyko refusing to lose. This is the fight. And I wonder how much a little bit of this is being helped out by, remember, coaches are talking to the players in this game. And so there might have been a good amount of knowledge embarked on these players. Don't do this. Don't overextend. Don't contest inside the jungle because you might get caught out like the Rel is here. Mixture will drop. Will is unstoppable. And this is going to be a pick right before the Infernal Drake, or not the Infernal Drake, sorry, the Elder Drake, the almighty Elder Dragon. 30 seconds to go on Mixture, though. Should be back in time.
Yeah, 30 seconds, not too big of a death timer here, but that's going to give them complete control over this Elder Dragon area, right? The blue side for Team Zamudo, as well as that river control for that dragon, can set up those picks, rinse, repeat, right? Mixture kind of has to walk in, get some wards down, whether he likes it or not. And Zyko can just keep slamming him in the wall, denying a lot of the escapes, denying his ability to get out of these fights. Zyko has been playing this Poppy very fearlessly, man.
And now the AR ready to get the position onto the Elder Dragon, which would, I would think, win them the game here. They could just force a fight at any moment, and it would be very beneficial to them. And this is a buff that Team Zamudo has to contest. So they have to get down here. They have to do something about this. They don't have a lot of vision around this jungle here. It's getting cleared away from Team Zyko very nicely, as now they're walking into a brush where they don't have any vision. The Encore is good. The damage laid down is amazing. Quacker takes no damage here on the back foot. Is the Team Zamudo team. This is not the position that they want to be in. And they're just going to turn tail onto the Elder Drake now, Shivy.
A lot of ultimates were invested. Samikin used the Encore. Sushi used the Curtain Call. Lamb's Respite and All Out still available. Zyko still has Keeper's Verdict as well. But you look on the side of Team Zamudo, they've lost their top laner. Their tank, Kryra, just isn't able to contest. And that's going to be an Elder Dragon going over for the free for Team Zyko pretty much there. Really well played, using the vision to their advantage. And unfortunately, Team Zamudo just trying to get what they can across the map, get these lanes shoved out, stop the push with this Elder Dragon. 2.5 minutes available. They can fight. And with the Baron coming up in 15 seconds, they're going to be double dipping into the most powerful buffs in the game.
Yeah, that's about as much of a reason to try and push for the end of this game as you would want. 36 minutes. This has been quite the slugfest between these two teams. A very long one, but we've seen a lot of long games in this Combine. It makes for some great League of Legends action. We're enjoying this one, and Kryra is here on the bot side. Now, this definitely means the Baron is going to go the way of Team Zyko, but that might have been the case anyways, hence the reason why Kryra is down here trying to fix this wave and say, okay, let's lock in for this base defense. That's inevitable here once this Baron drops. There is about a minute or so,
They base race?
1 or so minute available on this Elder Drake. I don't know if a base race... They have Baron Empowered Recall, so they can't really do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they would just like try to devolve it into like, all right, we'll push, you guys push, we'll see who wins. I doubt that's what's going to happen here. 1.5 minutes still left up on this Elder here. So they gotta utilize the double sauced up Baron plus Elder buffs here. That mid lane tier 3 should go down pretty instantly. I don't think they can take the fight. Another minute or so and a half, or another minute for this Elder Dragon. As long as Team Zamudo is timing it, they may look to take a fight as that Elder buff expires, because they definitely can win a fight into Baron empowered Team Zyko here, but not a Baron empowered and Elder empowered Team Zyko.
Certainly not, and they have a good chunk of time to work with. If they're going to back off here, I don't know if I like it. I feel like they should just force the issue here, but look at Zamudo. Now that I realize what's going on, Zamudo is just sneaking this wave. They still have a little bit of it left, but yeah, they're playing into a smolder too. This is the problem. They're saying, man, can't use this Elder like we want to. Zamudo, that's actually quite the 300 IQ play here. And something, again, I was going to say, something a coach might have told him, but we can't discredit the player. It could have been Zamudo's idea as well. This guy kind of just saved the game there, because Shibby, I think, and you said it yourself, they can't contain the double super buffed Team Zyko.
Yeah, and 20 seconds on this Elder. They're going to be able to pick up the mid lane inhibitor like we mentioned. Top lane tier 2 going down. Top lane tier 3 still under siege. Baron should be lasting for about another 1.5 minutes or so here, but without that Elder, that might be the go button for Team Zamudo to go in. We see Mixture on the side.
Mixture lands the Shattering Strike, and the crash down Megastorm is big. It's partially blocked by the Steadfast Presence. Mom's going to roll through everyone. Lamb's Respite keeping people alive. Zamudo is going to go golden, but he's going to drop shortly after. Zyko gets that kill credit, but Scary Jerry goes right into the backside. It's going to be doing so much damage. Gets one, but not enough to save the fight here. That's so much damage onto Otter. It's Sushi's hits that are hitting like a truck. It's only 3 people left from the side of Team Zamudo. The tower is going to drop. I feel like this is going to be the end of the game here, Shibby. I don't think they have enough left in the tank. The Smolder just doesn't have enough DPS to be able to defend this. The super minions are being channeled into the base. The first Nexus tower is dropping soon. Quacker is tanking forward. Pathmaker just tanking up as much damage as possible for the rest of the team to take down the second Nexus tower. The Nexus tower drops. It's going to be Kryra to drop as well. Mixture is no HP. Can't really engage. Otter doesn't have the HP to do it. This will be the game win for Team Zyko, getting redemption after game 1.
Team Zyko clawing a victory from the hands of defeat. I mean, just absolutely fighting their way through, beating a fully stacked Execute stacked Smolder, right? Kaisa full items, right? 2 AE carries that should just take the game over. As we look at the damage charts here, and once again, Samikin topping it up on the Seraphine. But not to be outdone, both Will and Sushi doing their job. And Sushi was landing some very critical routes onto champions like the Smolder, like the Kaisa, to set up a lot of those picks here. And, you know, Zyko pretty much on point with this Poppy. I don't think Mixture was really allowed to play the game after the first 10 minutes. Like, the guy was just getting constantly denied from everything.
Yeah, the Rel had a hard time. The Steadfast Presence were good. It's crazy how much damage that Samikin was able to do. You know, you see this Seraphine pick, you think of it as more of a supportive style. You're clearing waves, you're shielding your carries in Sushi and Will. but the damage potential is just crazy when you're hitting from afar. The same thing can be said here from the side of Otter as well on the Smolder. But in the end, I mean, it looked like at one point, I said it myself, it looked like it could have just been the same thing we saw in game one. It felt over. It felt like there was no real angle for Team Psycho to come back. They made the base defense at the tier 2. They stood their ground. They kept winning fights. They were finding good picks, and they were able to pull through and finish the game off. They got the soul, they got the big buffs, and they got what needed to be done to make a nice comeback here in this game. They did not just roll over and die. That's the stuff that we like to see, as we will now, after game 2 is finished, go to a short break before we bring you the game 3 draft. And remember, upcoming is going to be the game with no wards being allowed to be placed by either team. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be quite the interesting game, and we hope to see you all there.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side. My love, you say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
The third game is on the horizon between Team Zamudo and Team Zyko here at the Path2Pro Combine. I'm Ferris, that's Shibby. We've seen two matches between the two teams that you can see at the bottom of your screen, and they are one at piece, and they have been quite exciting here, and they're about to get even more exciting now, or maybe not so exciting. I don't really know what to expect. But no trinkets, no control wards in this game, testing the player's ability to adapt to this new rule is what's going down in game 3, Shivy.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit, like in between breaks. This could either be the slowest game possible in League of Legends, or it might just be two guys bashing each other in the face. It might just be two teams slamming heads against each other here. But yeah, Team Zamudo and Team Zyko 1-1 apiece. And honestly, Team Zyko doing a damn good job turtling up, right? I mean, Sammykin and Sushi doing a very good job just getting the right CC onto players like Otter, like Kryra here, taking advantage of Kryra's like kind of like we said, Build-A-Bear, Sejuani build where it wasn't super tanky, didn't have a ton of HP, so just getting the picks consistently. And Quacker doing a damn good job just zoning away Team Zamudo, right? Ulting the right targets, getting them away, and also Zyko on the Poppy. Steadfast presence, and then the keeper's verdict. This guy was on point. Mixture was not allowed to play the game, and really good that they were able to get a win against a Smolder comp, specifically a Smolder comp that went nearly 40 minutes into the game. So I mean, just Team Zyko doing a good job. Both of these teams very evenly matched as well, in my opinion.
And that's what we love to see. We're heading into, if this was a best of 3, it would be the game number 3. And you just said, or you said, and you started talking about it, it's either going to be the longest game of League or it's going to just be a full fist fight. I'm leaning more towards the fist fight, because at a certain point, you're going to have to take some type of risk here. And the other thing to talk about, too, is the champions that we might see. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But the fact that you just can't see anything, if you're just sitting at your tower, you're not really getting anything done, teams are going to have to take a risk to get things done. Go for this 2v2 in lane. I want to go for this solo kill. I want to try this invade. But you have no idea what's happening on the map. You just have to go off pure intuition. So I feel like so many mistakes are going to be made. And I feel like that might accelerate the pace of the game a little bit more.
Yeah, and will be interesting to see, as we didn't really get any confirmation or how this is going to work in regards to whether the teams are going to try to like metagame the challenge, right? So we talked about like popular champions that could pop up because you're not allowed to use control wards, you're not allowed to buy any trinket wards or anything like that, but you can use like passives and abilities. So things like Maokai saplings, Fiddlesticks trinket technically counts as an ability, so you can use that for vision. Nidalee trap, stuff like that. Teemo shrooms potentially, right? We don't know if these teams are going to try to metagame or if they're going to try to potentially pick a draft or team comp that you would typically see if wards were available. So champions like Ashe, definitely on the table, right? Popular champion, provides vision. One of the big reasons as to why she's so good is that she has wall hacks every couple minutes, as well as champions like Maokai, who are also commonly picked, very good into these dive compositions, into things like the Nocturne and so on and so forth. So those kind of champions, I don't think if they get picked will be metagaming, but if we see like Fiddlesticks, Twitch, Evelyn, that kind of stuff, then we're definitely taking full advantage of the no wards rule in game 3 here. I'm actually very interested to see what Zamudo cooks up in the top side, because he's already played two wacky champions, or not two wacky champions, but two interesting champions, both the Udyr and the Swain, with varying effectiveness.
Yeah, and I think they probably will go that angle of staying towards the meta, because it's like you want to work on your ability to be able to work without the vision. Therefore, when you play with vision unlocked, it becomes that much easier for you. Get sort of more of a sixth sense of what's happening around the map. Your intuition builds. But if you're kind of like just sort of not necessarily cheating it, but you're playing something you might not pull out in an actual game when you're trying to qualify for NACL, you're playing in NACL, like that probably just kind of takes away a little bit from the challenge. So I expect to see, to your point, stuff like the Ashe. And maybe this shakes up the bans too, because we've been seeing things like Yone and Aurora, they're being taken off the board every game. Skarner as well has been heavy priority from both of these teams and teams all throughout the Combine. But now with this new challenge that's being introduced, things could be shaken up in the bans. We could see an Ashe ban. We could see those champions like Nocturne taken away, and we'll see now how that all turns out as we are into the draft for the final meetup between these two iterations of teams.
Yeah, and we see Team Zamudo back onto the blue side as Team Zyko is going to be onto the red side here. Typical bans coming out here. You mentioned Yone and Aurora have had a 100% pick ban rate. I believe they've had a 100% ban rate specifically is what you mentioned here. Darius being removed, so Quacker's not going to be allowed to pick up one of his signature champions. But I don't think they really need to change up the bans. I don't think there was anything in particular from either Game 1 or Game 2 where both teams look at it and go, yeah, this champion specifically in this player's hands is an absolute problem, absolutely destroyed us. So I don't think there's going to be too much switching up. The exciting part, like we said, comes in. Are they going to pick stuff like Evelyn, like Fiddlesticks, or are we just going to see a pretty standard drop as Ash is removed? So we might be taking advantage of no wards being placed. Ash, a super strong champion, but also is fine to ban out in regular competitive play.
It certainly is, and you know what that means? It means Skarner time. It's let through B1. It's going to be Team Zamudo this time. They switched it up. They decided to choose that blue side, and the Skarner is going to be taken. We'll see how Kryra is able to operate that, and Will's response is just going to be that Kindred again, the run back here. And so they're going to take this, combat it, try and get a lead against the Skarner, maybe outpace it a little bit. And it's going to be Quacker taking the Udyr this time around.
Yeah, taking that safe, stable top laner, Will, on the Kindred that garnered him so much success in Game 2. But a little bit of a different matchup going into Skarner here, as that's going to be a Riven being locked in for Zamudo here. That's the gauntlet being thrown down. I don't think Otter is going to be playing that in the mid lane. It's going to be Riven topside here into the Udyr as the Ziggs gets locked up. That can get placed either into Scary Jerry's hands or Otter here. But, I mean, oh my god, Riven, the gauntlet being thrown. That is a snowball champion, if anything.
That's insane. We love to see stuff like that. I mean, this is like Quacker said to Zamudo in game number 1, I got a pick for you into the Udyr. And now that didn't work out maybe as he planned. Now let's fast forward to game 3. This time it's Zamudo saying, hey Quacker, I got a pick for you. It's going to be the Riven. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's so difficult to analyze. You don't see this pick so often, but you said it. Snowball, you got to get a lead. Same type of thing as Lee Sin. It's got a lot of damage to offer in the early stage. It's got the stun to lock down the Udyr as well, so it could be very great for the side of Zamudo and Team Zamudo at that. As we see the last bans come through, support targeted bans. The Yasuo taken away from, actually away from Otter this time around once again. Let's see what they have to offer in this second round of picks.
Yeah, Leona probably being the only champion left on the board in terms of like heavy engage, right? Thresh was also available, Blitzcrank, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Riven, kit-wise, actually not too bad into the Udyr, right? Has a shield to match, shield for shield, as that's going to be a Maokai support, I'm going to guess here. And that's really good into the engage, right? Really good in locking down specific targets here. But what is that final pick that's going to be rounded out into the mid lane here? An Orianna specifically. So you've got Skarner ball delivery system, you've got Riven ball delivery system, and you've also got the Maokai if he decides to double you in there. But really, really interesting composition from Team Zamudo here. And, Samikin's going to go, okay, I liked my laning phase round 2. I was really useful pretty much throughout the whole game, was landing fantastic encores throughout game 2 there. And they're going to put him back onto the Aurora, the Seraphine here. And they're just going to be able to let him scale into the late game. And I don't know if Team 1 or Team Zamudo has the damage to kind of outpace some of these fights. Team Zyko doing a really good job kind of picking up some of the same similar pieces that led them to that Game 2 win.
And with the Riven pick here, this is kind of the isolated physical damage. Skarner for Kryra does a good amount of physical damage. You can see all the sweepers there, except for, hold on a second, who's cheating here? It's Mixture. Wait a second, Mixture. Someone get him. Someone call the police. This guy's got the wards available. But I'm sure that was just sort of an autopilot thing. Back to what I was saying, it's Riven who's the only physical damage here for the side of, actually Will. It's going to get caught out here. Broken Wings from Zamudo going to do a good bunch of damage. Actually going to force the flash, which is crazy. I can't believe that was actually flashed away from. So that's huge to get that off of the Kindred this early on.
Yeah, kind of reduces her kill threat, her kill range, right? Because what she'll do is she'll throw the wolf down, get the stacks going, and she'll try to flash for the last kill. Mixture started W here just to get that lockdown going. Scary Jerry though on the Ziggs should be fine, has TP available. I like Sushi, and I like what AD carries have been doing specifically when they go into a mage, right? They just mash TP for TP because there's no real kill threat. Your barrier, your heal is not going to be too effective. It's just being able to match the TP of the mage to make sure he stays locked in the lane. He can't get a free back or anything like that. Very, very nice. As Samikin is trading a little bit onto Audir. Now, we mentioned, no one is allowed to ward this game. No trinkets, no control wards, nothing like that. Mixture probably, just like we said, autopiloted. I don't think he dare places a ward down. We don't know if they unbinded them. I would hope maybe they did, as no wards are available. So the game plays out differently. Perceived information, inference, gut feeling, that kind of stuff. Calling bluff, that's all going to be very important in this game.
And I said it in the draft. I think that's going to lead to a lot of chaotic situations, especially with this top side too. I mean, top lane is such an exploitable lane. Zamudo getting the push, I mean, that makes sense. It's hard to deal with a Riven at the level 1. The broken wings just do so much damage, and it just should be easy pickings here unless the counter comes through. But let's look at the bot side. Scary Jerry is suffering from the early pressure of the Kai'Sa Leona, and they fall. The level 2 is just too good, and they start their game off with a bang.
Beautiful solo kill coming out from Sushi and Zyko there. Scary Jerry gonna have to burn that TP a lot earlier than he would have liked. Comes back with the refillable potion.
It's gonna get CC'd up. Tried to go in, but just one shot by the damage of the Kai'Sa here. But now Kryra is here to try and join the play. No flash available, but they're actually just gonna kill everyone here. Scary Jerry though gets a double. It was so close. I mean, what is going on in spot side? I said chaotic things here, Shibby. I think this is going to be the theme of the game, as Will has found Kryra here recalling. There's no way to spot this out. Scary Jerry couldn't really see it either. Uses the satchel charge to escape, but oh my goodness, this is just erupting into chaos.
They didn't know. They didn't have the wards. They didn't know where Will was. They didn't know where he started. They don't know what's happening, so he sneaks into there. Nice usage of the sweeper there, the wireframe specifically, spotting out Kryra, getting that outline, and that's going to get him the kill. So overall, still a net benefit trade for Team Zyko here. 2 big kills onto Sushi. Is now more fighting in the bot lane.
That's going to be the flash stun. Uses a flash of his own to try and escape. The Void Seeker is going to hit. And that, I mean, he just has to go right back. He just did not know he was walking straight into Zyko and Will.
Yeah, and Quacker giving Zamudo a taste of his own medicine. He's like, you remember when he did this to me in game 1, buddy? Remember when you just were able to trade with me without really using any damage abilities? You were able to soak everything up. Zamudo having a very tough time here. Quacker on the Udyr. Ultimate Stonewall champion, ultimate go even kind of guy. You're not going to kill me. I'm not going to kill you unless you make a terrible mistake here. He's going to get that lane pushed, and Quacker's probably going to face TP back with an item advantage. He does have a small CS lead. As Otter, though, into the Samikin Seraphine, not having the best of laning phase, not having too much fun. HP very, very low.
Mana pretty low as well. Has teleport to get back, and Samikin does not know Kryra is here. Waiting in the wings. He can burrow through this wall here to get an angle. But again, Otter does not have mana, so this is a tough gank to actually pull off, and Samikin does have flash. He can flash away from any type of engagement. Here it goes. Gonna drive around. Going to not quite catch Samikin. The beat drop will find the root, but just not going to use the flash. Didn't feel that he needed or wanted to use it. Might have thought there would be a follow flash. As now Zenith Blade goes in from Zyko. They're going to be... Nope, doesn't want that trade. It's actually going to be Sushi in trouble. Mixture definitely wants this. Can't quite find the ability to root, though, because he doesn't have any vision. And the Ignite goes down from Zyko, but they walk away from this one.
They walk away, and, you know, Mixture picking up that Maokai support. You got to believe it was for the counter, but also for those little saplings that provide a little bit of inkling of vision here as Kryra is back. They got to get this lane shoved in, though. Luckily, you're playing the Ziggs, and that should be easy enough. Will is not here. They don't know this is happening. Recall is going to get stopped. I'm sure they're not going to let him channel it.
Kryra just going to chuck the rock. Oh my goodness. Lets him reset, and the TP comes through. He's not going to miss much of this wave. Okay, yeah, they just let him get out of that one.
Kryra gotta go back to the lab, buddy. He tried to stop the recall with the W. He thought he was in range. Yeah. He wasn't. Then chucked the rock in panic. Missed that as well. And Sushi's like, what the hell? Was inches away from getting dove. But well played, I guess, from Team Zyko there, or I guess a misplay from Kryra, and that overinvestment is going to allow Will and the rest of Team Zyko to pick up this mark, pick up this extra jungle camp, as Otter can just watch as his junglers' camps get ravaged here. No vision, nothing to play around. They don't know if Will's gone or if he's sticking around.
He's sticking around for the Drake. They're going to start this one here. That must be a pretty nice feeling for a jungler. Finally, you're kind of soloing the Drake. You really know, like, let's say you haven't sweeped it or something. This is more of like a solo queue feeling, not so much a pro match, but you know that no one knows you're on this. And so they have to face check it if they want to figure it out. Samikin saying, I got a lot of people chasing me right now. I'm not liking the situation that I'm in, but hey, had that flash, saved it from the previous play, so can get out of this one. But nonetheless, it feels bad to run away there from that with your tail between your legs. But your team was able to get the Cloud Drake in response. They might just go for this play, is Zyko and Will. And they say no.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough. Otter and Mixture could definitely turn that around, especially with the health bars of those individuals. Dragon does go down, like you mentioned. Cloud Dragon going over to Team Zyko. We haven't panned too much of this top lane simply because Quacker and Zamuda have just kind of been throwing blows back and forth. Kryra is here to interrupt it, but I'm pretty sure Quacker can just, empowered ram stance through this. That's not going to be an issue as we do get the camera in camera. Look at bot lane.
Oh, it's going to be Zenith Blade. That misses, and Mega Inferno Bomb lands. Basushi with the Killer Instinct is going to go in on the Scary Jerry. Doesn't quite have the damage, but Will take that kill back. No Lamb's Respite to keep himself alive, so it's going to be a 1-for-1. Sushi takes another tower shot. Zenith Blade is going to go wide. Otter is here to try and reinforce the fellas right now. Has the flash available, does not have Shockwave. Will go for this kill onto Zyko, who does not have flash to get away. Actually just got it back on the cooldown. I saw that. That was so clutch. The flash just came back.
Hey.
Wait. What just happened?
Somebody get that guy. Somebody find him. Technical foul. Technical foul on the play. A ward does get dropped there. Probably in panic. I think it's just one of those things. Unbind it. Come on, guys. Unbind it. But regardless, Zyko is able to get the flash over, and Samikin actually ends up shielding Zyko from that last auto that would have killed him. So very clutch. Samikin walking down, but doesn't have a flash. Kryra does have the ultimate available, has flash, has everything. This guy's dead, right?
No, he's got it. He's got to be. If they land the Impale, it's good. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is going to land the Impale. Samikin, my friend, I'm sorry, but you're going to be run down. You're going to be taken out. He made it kind of close. Otter was getting low. Kryra takes the kill away. A successful gank. Finally, or actually, they've gotten their second successful gank in the mid lane. They're liking this play here as X-Flash, not going to be much. Well, actually, just as I say that, Zenith Blade, here it is. It's just some trading. It's going to be Kryra heading down here as well. I'm anticipating a dive right now. This is why I'm staying on my toes. And look at that. Kryra's going right in. The flash away from Sushi to get away from that initial engagement. Mixture flashes forward. The rock goes down. Scary Jerry is low, man. You're taking too many shots to the tower. Sushi is just so evasive in this game. Are they gonna... Oh, the Mega Inferno Bomb. Oh, it connects. Are you kidding me? Okay. They do get it done in a really... Well, not the cleanest fashion, but hey, they can't see anything right now. They're playing with Perma, Nocturne Ultimate, and Mixture is going to be put into the Mixture of the Death Realm. That's going to be it for him.
Overall, messy dive, but gets the job done. Sushi misses a pretty massive wave there, trading Mixture's life, though. I don't know. Will getting those kills. Will 3-1 right now. Triforce available once again at the 10-minute mark for this Kindred. I mean, Will's Kindred is just another beast, right? Will Pioshik, I can't tell the difference.
Honestly. Will Piosik, Shun, like, who is this guy? Aren't you supposed to be in Europe right now? You got a match against Weibo in a couple of days. But hey, doing well. We give him his praise. Has been outpacing the Skarner in the farm. Got a great CS lead. Triforce, like you mentioned there, Chibi. This is pretty good from them, and they're going to try and leverage this into probably more neutral objectives, more fights around the river. These teams are going to be aware of these timings. A Samikin, you got a problem, man. There's a big tree running towards you right now. It's going to make it hard for you to move. And then there's a guy with bombs behind you that's ready to blow you up. But hey, you might have just they don't know who's coming. This is the thing. So they're like, okay, this is taking a little too long to kill the Seraphine. We don't want to overextend. Might have been a good choice in the end. Excellent use of the Bramble Smash to deny the Zenith Blade. And the play fizzles out into no kills for anybody.
Just a lot of shoving back and forth. Once again, gold dead even between these teams as Quacker just giving Zamudo the business right now, and not much you can do. And Powered R is going to get him low enough, and Zamudo can't stay here. No TP available, crucially. Hasn't really been able to take full advantage of that Ignite in the top side. Is going to have to take the long walk of shame into the top. is going to miss out on about a wave, maybe a wave and a half if he can get this shoved in here. I don't know if Quacker's going to opt into kind of like start proxying, although Skarner is in that top side. Maybe Zamudo and Kryra can get a kill here. Will, though, and the rest of Team Zyko having a lot of control on this bot side.
I foresee this Riven having a very hard time to deal damage, just like, just going to miss. Kryra. Going to miss out on those key abilities to secure that kill. And I was going to say, I foresee the Riven struggling like the Lee Sin did in game number 1, as Otter is no long for this world. Will and Zyko, for Team Zyko, bringing it there in between the towers, making it difficult for the Orianna to play.
Quacker dodging out on the Impale. I mean, fancy feet for the guy and doesn't really miss too much. Zamudo, though, looking to trade in, but that turtle stance, just doing a good job of healing himself up, or boar stance. Yeah, I know it's called boar, but he's using the spirit guard skin, so it's turtle stance right now. Just doing a good job using that to his advantage, just aggressively trading, healing off the minion wave. Dragon does come up. Void grubs have spawned as well, so it looks like the trade is going to happen for once in this game. We're going to get 6 grubs for Team Zamudo, and we're going to get 2 dragons for the side of Team Zyko here. The first time this trade has happened in this block of 3. Usually it's like a 4-2 split, 5-1, something like that, but all 6 are going to go over into the favor of Team Zamudo here, especially with him on the Riven. It will be interesting. One thing to note, because you can't place wards or anything like that, side laning becomes a lot more difficult. You don't have the safety of vision of knowing where they are, knowing where the team's rotating, so that at any moment you could have 5 members breathing down your neck if you're pushing past tier 1, pushing into those lanes here. So side laning is going to be very, very different.
And we'll see how much that actually affects the power of the 6 grubs. If this was a game where you could use vision, Ziggs is a champion that loves to have that. As Zyko, I don't know if they don't see him, I don't think. Well, he now steps inside of the vision. He might just be the first target here instead of Quacker. There comes the Nature's Grasp Mega Inferno Bomb on top, but Zyko taking up everything for the moment. Quacker gets some healing there. Turtle stance is nice. When you use Phoenix stance to clear the wave, Impale is good though. From the side of Kryra, Zyko's going to fall as well, but here comes Sushi off the TP, but a nice splash shockwave there from Otter will bring him right back in. Double kill for Sushi, going to try and deal the damage, has the Leap Tempo stacked up. Ken's going to dodge away from the abilities. Will try, but can't quite. Will is here, but I don't know if he can catch the rest of them. They can't see him, or can they? He's going to try and wrap around. Yeah, the ball speed is going to help him out there. And the landmines as well, but the flash forward. Will is looking for these kills, has Scary Jerry as the mark, should be able to pick it up, but the tower shot that he took will seal his fate, and he dies there. Scary Jerry just eats a couple bombs on his grave.
Doesn't use the Lamb's respite, and they knew he was coming because that ball, the Orianna ball, got the vision just enough to see him charging at him, and they will stall out. Well played from Team Zamudo there, but also Team Zyko trading back really aggressively. A lot of kills, though, going in favor of Scary Jerry. The man is 7-2 on Ziggs. And with no vision available, they can get him into a spot around Dragon, around some of these bushes, and he can just poke away without being able to like see where he's throwing the bombs from. Where is he going? Where is he moving? This poke can be so effective as the Lean ultimate doesn't land, and Kryra's here to punish Zyko.
As Flash, he can get out of this if he wants to over the wall, but it's just going to use it to flash forward there. The Mega Inferno Bomb is going to do a little bit here, but Mixture should be able to drop the isolated Acathian Rain is good. And Sushi from afar will grab that kill. The mid lane exchange is in favor of Team Zyko.
Team Zyko. I thought he was going to get caught. I thought Zyko was going to definitely for sure die there, but the rest of the gang comes in. They're able to punish Mixture. As now Otter, we mentioned side laning, how dangerous it is.
Otter
Will and Sushi are ready to punish this Orianna.
Here comes Will. Oh, the great shockwave, though. That's a ton of damage, but I don't think there's enough left in the tank. The cooldowns are too high. The burst is there. Sushi and Will able to successfully tag team the mid laner from Team Zamudo, but let's look at what's actually happening in the mid lane. Quacker drops Impale is good onto Zyko, Scary Jerry, and the Skarner trying to find enough damage, and they have found it. And with 6 grubs, should be able to annihilate this turret.
Yeah, pretty quickly, although ultimate.
My gosh, the Encore and oh my goodness, that is an excellent play from Samikin. Not something that Scary Jerry was expecting. Sushi's running down Mixture, and the saplings will slow him down so he can't continue the chase. But wow, the snap engage there, Shibby, that was crazy.
Samikin just showing off his expertise there on the Seraphine. queued the ultimate, but flashed forward so that it would actually queue up where he flashed on. Very, very well played to kind of get that range going. Got the kill, saved mid lane turret, and got some gold back into their pockets. Big shutdown as well. I believe Scary Jerry had one. As Zamudo now will have to make the...
You're getting run down, my friend. Broken wings. They can take you far places. Nice usage of the stun to buy himself some space, and the shield is actually good. Gets out of this one. I couldn't believe it. I thought Quacker certainly had the speed to chase him down here. Sushi saying, man, you guys, good luck. I'm recalling, bro. I'm out of here. And the Mega Inferno Bomb from Scary Jerry's enough to secure the kill. Zyko is running for his life. Will on the other side is pulling some shenanigans here with his mid laner. Rift Herald will knock down the tier 1. All across the map, we are seeing action from both of these teams. Second charge comes through.
And that's going to soften up that tier 2 turret in the top side. Bunch of gold could go in the favor.
Zyko, though, is in trouble. Here comes the Nature's Grass. It's going to land onto Sushi, who doesn't have flash right now. And that will be a dead Kaisa. They're making these plays. It's 3v2, though, and Team Zamudo is actually really liking what's going on right now. They can't actually trade the tier 2 on the other side.
Can't trade it just yet here, but they're going to be able to get it finally. Bunch of gold going into the favor of Samikin and Will. That kill's going to result, though, in that bottom lane tier 2 going down, and Ziggs wins that. 6 grubs plus the execution on his W. He's going to knock that turret down lickety-split. You should see it go down here. Will just ravaging Team Zamudo's jungle here, trying to get as much as he can.
Zamudo's going to catch an encore to the face. Beat drop will root him up as well with the shockwave. Is going to miss. Zamudo actually flashed away, so it didn't hit. Wait, observers are pointing out we see some illegal activity here. Wait, why did you even buy a pink ward? I knew this was going to happen. They just autopilot and they get those pink wards. It had to have been one of the supports.
It's instinctive. I mean,
it is.
luckily.
It really is.
Luckily, Zamudo flashed away with the ball on him, so the shockwave actually doesn't land here. No vision, mind you, makes it so that like whoever has first move onto the dragon and the objective, they essentially have control. Because you can't really place a ward down. You can't do much. You kind of have to just face check or use the plants, use your ability to look at where they are in the bush. Because right now we see Team Zamudo walking in. Team Zyko have control, though.
Quacker and Zyko, they are the front line right now, but Kryra has joined right into the middle of the fight. The Mega Inferno Bomb is very good here. Zamudo's found Samikin too on the right side of your screen, winning out in that 1 versus 1. It is Team Zyko, or Team Zamudo rather, that's pushed them off. The Nature's Grasp will roll through. There's the Lamb's Rest to keep 2 of them alive. Will and Zyko alive here. They're going to get the Drake, and they're going to chase them down as well. They're not done with this push just yet. Shockwave just coming off of cooldown very soon. The bombs are raining through. They're trying to run for their life. Mixture's going to flash forward, gets the twisted advance onto Samikin, who will fall. And now Kryra's going into the middle of the team, but I think he went too far forward. Now he's going to drop. Otter flashes forward, doesn't have the shockwave. Didn't use the shockwave either. He still had it. Scary Jerry gets a double kill. Sushi trying to run for his life, burning down to triple kill for Scary Jerry, as scary as they come. And that is, I mean, we said chaos. This is chaotic.
Quacker as well, pushing that mid lane, forcing the recall out of Scary Jerry, and Otter not able to use the shockwave, was stunned up, was looking for the massive play. Overall, even kill trade across the board, but the dragon, the Ocean Soul, part of the Ocean Soul, the Ocean Dragon, going into the favor of Team Zamudo here. Quacker on the meanwhile, picture in picture, we see on the bottom left. He's trying to get that mid lane tier 1. They're putting a ton of damage onto him right now. Mixer definitely wants the W.
He wants it. Not quite in range. The Baron's lurking in the river all the meanwhile. 20-minute mark. That objective is now live. Shibby, this feels like, you know, this is a solo queue game. I mean, this is just how chaotic it gets in solo queue. You know, we have 13 kills on Scary Jerry. I just looked at that now. 13? That is insane. Everyone is accelerated. It's a 3-item Ziggs at 20 minutes, dude. This is just full solo queue, man. It's an insanely uncoordinated game. It is really hard to predict what is going to go down here when there's literally nothing to look at, as the Encore reigns true onto 2 people. They've knocked down the tier 1. That cancels the teleport as well. Samikin has got no friends around him to save him. Will is there, but he has to watch his pop star mid laner die, as Mixture will drop, making it a 1-for-1. Scary Jerry going to flash away from that Soul.
Otter's mid.
Going to be the next target. Zenith Blade goes down. Otter, the meanwhile, pushing the mid lane, taking down the tier 2. Zamudo uses the Blade of the Exile, but he will only exile himself to the Death Realm because it's not very useful. The tier 2 falls. The Mega Inferno Bomb from Scary Jerry will miss. The rest of Team Zyko want to disengage. Their base is getting sieged.
6 grubs on the Orianna, the empowered auto attacks. He's trying to siege as much as he can. TP not available, is not able to get to that fight. he might just end up getting that tier 3 in the mid lane. Instead, he's going to back out, but there's no way they let him go, right? Sushi is going to try to chase him out. Instead, they're going to let him through. They're going to say, you pass, you're fine, you're good to go. Bunch of damage onto that tier 3 mid lane. That's going to set it up for Scary Jerry potentially to knock that down in the future. Good job from Team Zamudo to kind of make like a numbers disadvantage kind of work in their favor, at least try to get something out. Team Zyko got the kills. They cleaned up what they could. But overall, man, this gold lead for Team Zamudo off of just some really good map movement.
The Baron's live. These teams are hovering around it right now. Scary Jerry doesn't have flash. Remember, Zyko going to utilize the solar flare because of this. Encore will connect
Beautiful
onto this
Encore.
very fed Ziggs, but look at that shockwave. It's huge to peel the team. The Ziggs will fall. Will gets that kill credit. Does have the Lamb's Respite to keep himself alive. Impale is going to land onto him. It's breaking out in front of the tier 1 tower. Zyko is going to be saved by the ultimate there, by the Kindred. It's Kryra taking up for the team. Otter is able to deal a little bit from the backline and dealing so much that Nature's Grasp runs through the team. And look at the damage this Orianna is able to deal. The dynamic duo between the mid jungle here and Zamudo, all the meanwhile starting up the Baron.
Otter and Kryra linking up for the full ace. Massive shockwave, like you mentioned, going on to 3 members. The guy has Ludens plus Shadow Flame. The man is doing virtually true damage on the side of Team Zyko here. A bit of an overcommitment from them leads to the Baron for Team Zamudo. Zamudo right now 1-1-1, just kind of along for the ride, doing what he can. Has been a passenger this game, but doesn't matter. Scary Jerry 13-4. Otter 4-4-4. As we get a look at this replay, it looked really good. Samikin lands a massive encore, but that shockwave, 3-man shockwave into the W, rips through their backline, and by the time Quacker shows up, it's too little too late. A full health bar from Kryra. Lamb's Respite gets used, but it's just not enough. Mixture comes back up with the ultimate, uses it just in time, seals everyone's fate, gets the ace. All the meanwhile, Otter and Kryra doing their best to play their lives. As you see the picture-in-picture in the bot side, bottom lane, tier 3 could be under siege. Tier 3 in the mid lane as well. Remember, Otter was slamming that down while there was a topside fight, so it's prepped, it's ready to go, but instead, Ocean Dragon up in 15 seconds. They're going to use the pushing minions. They're going to use these mobile wards to their advantage so they can get control of this dragon side.
And they have full control. It was Blade of the Exile used. Hold up a second. Snap engage from Zyko, and Sushi follows it up. But look at the shockwave. Oh my gosh. They all disappear in front of his eyes. He says, you cannot try to assassinate me. I will just assassinate you. Zamudo wants in on the action. Doesn't have the ultimate broken wings to close the gap. Quacker is going to drop here. The damage from the Riven's insane. It's a triple kill for Kryra out of nowhere. The Impale goes missing here. Will still has the Lamb's Respite. Couldn't save any of his buddies with this ability. Now can only save himself for a little bit, but it will not matter in the next coming seconds. That ultimate will fade away. He will use the flash. Everyone wants this Lamb dead, and it's going to be the 4th kill of the fight for the Skarner. What the hell is going on? This might just be the end of the game right here. 24 minutes. I mean, this is just what happens when you can't see anything.
Sushi's up, Zyko is up as well. They're trying to go for the end here. You've got the Sackle charge ready to go. They just need to get this turret down. They're going to go for the fight.
It's just going to be it. They just don't have the damage to really contend with them, but now the respawns are actually coming through. So I'll hold my thought for a second. Otter is still full HP, still has a good amount of mana, but that's going to be 2 dropping here for the time of Team Zamudo. But look at Otter. This is a nice upcoming player looking to make a name for themselves. Flash away from the solar flare to make Inferno Bomb. It's big. Scary Jerry does a lot of damage here. Samikin, it's all down to you. Can you save the base? This is about as crazy of an exit as it gets. He's channeling recalls. He's BMing. Oh my god. Oh my, like, what did I just witness? What did we just witness, Shibby?
We witnessed an Orianna masterclass. Otter put the team on his back, says, everybody get in here. Scary Jerry as well. Both of these guys tandem duo right now. Taking over this game. No vision, no problem. DPS doesn't need to see what it's doing. It just needs to land, and that's crazy. I mean, I know we look at the damage numbers. Obviously, Scary Jerry is going to have the most because he was trading a ton. He was fighting a ton. He was in a lot of those fights. But a lot of those late damage team fights was coming out from Orianna. The dude was just shockwaving 2-3 people. I saw Sushi fly in and get deleted like that. I mean, that was kind of scary. Respectable 9,000 damage, 10,000 damage coming out from Zamudo on the Riveteer. Probably didn't get to execute what he wanted in that top side. But I mean, just letting his team do the work, letting them carry. Pretty interesting game. I'm going to be honest, Ferris, I don't know necessarily if this game trained intuition or anything like that. It seemed like the vision didn't really matter. These guys were just fist fighting.
I'm gonna have to agree there. That might have just been like that was just. I say it all the time. I've been said this word like 3,000 times in this game, but chaotic, messy. There's no coordination at all. It was just brute force fighting. Oh, someone's in front of me. We got to kill him. Oh, this person's here. Oh, I walked in this bush. There's 3 people here. Let's fight. Let's do it. Oh, it's 24 minutes. I'm Scary Jerry and I have 10 trillion gold. Hey, life is pretty good right now. And exactly. Was it beneficial? Maybe, maybe not. Might get a talking to afterwards and say, hey, you guys made a lot of mistakes here. You made a lot of mistakes there. Why did you do this? You should have known that. So in that aspect, perhaps. But nonetheless, Shibby, I think we can both agree that was quite the entertaining game to watch. And in the next set of games, now that this set is over, we're going to get the exact same thing in that third game. And for that cast, it will be myself and Alk to bring that all to you. But for this trio of games and these 2 teams, that will be it for us. My name is Ferris. That was Shibby. Thank you to Chris, Sunga, and Auntie on the production for the stream today. And we will be back in a couple of minutes to bring you the next block of 3 games. Thank you.